about this very confident 3-0 team, the way they talk. They're actually 1-2, but they talk like they're undefeated. So the Falcons will have the ball first. Chris Miller brings out the Falcons offense, and we refer to it a 1-2 team with an awful lot of confidence, a very loose team under Jerry Glanville, a coach they have taken to, the veterans who were here, a lot of new faces joining them as well, and despite a 1-2 mark, they are coming into this game today feeling that this will be their afternoon against the New Orleans Saints. First down from the 20. Steve Broussard, the rookie from Washington State, on first down, is stuffed right at the line of scrimmage offensively for the Falcons. Veteran Mike Ken with Scully, Dukes, Freilich, Chris Hinton making his first start there at right tackle, and Gary Wilkins at tight end. Keith Jones and Broussard in the backfield. Andre Rison came over with Hinton in the deal with Indianapolis, and Michael Haynes, the speedster, number 81. Pickup of about a yard for Broussard, 2nd and 9. Throw, and that's complete for a first down. Loose ball. Rison looks like he got it back. Andre Rison started to make his turn upfield as soon as he caught the ball and saw it come loose.
Andre Rison calls himself an anytime receiver. You have possession receivers, you have deep receivers. He said, anytime you want a first down, go to me. Nice turn-in pattern there, about 10 yards upfield, but the ball stripped. Fortunately, the Falcons retain possession.
So it'll be a first down. Atlanta at their own 32-yard line. Onto the field comes Tracy Johnson, the fullback, a late reporter here. He'll have to get the play from Miller. Out comes Jones. And the give is to Broussard, to Mike Rozier, making his first appearance in the game quickly. Mike Rozier just came over from Houston on waivers, and of course a Glanville man. New Orleans defensively, Martin, the second-year man at defensive end. Robert Goff coming over from the Bucs, and veteran Jim Wilkes. The linebackers, perhaps the best in the league. Jackson, Mills, Johnson, and Swilling, the former Georgia Tech star. And a secondary that has Robert Massey, an aggressive young cornerback, on the left side, with Toy Cook on the right. Maxey and Atkins are the safeties. 2nd and 6. Long 6, nearly 7 yards. Just pick up on 2nd down. Miller, deep sideline for Haynes. He has it. Flags are thrown. Haynes with the reception in Saints territory. Let's see what the call is. Atkins and Cook had the coverage. The referee is Dick Hantak. It's against New Orleans. Likely interference.
Tim, Mike Haynes has world-class speed, so much so that the system of the call.
Illegal contact on the defense. Penalty is declined. First down.
Ran in the Olympic trials against Carl Lewis, but here he is on a fly pattern going deep. Falcons thought that if the Saints played them close, they'd do this. Here he's working against Robert Massey. Massey almost tips the ball, can't get a hold of it. Haynes comes down with a terrific reception.
Yeah, that was Toy Cook, I think, who got victimized there, number 41 on the right side, but a 31-yard gain. Rozier and Johnson are in at running backs, in the eye. So Jerry Glanville wasting no time getting Rozier into his offense. He's only been here since Wednesday. And Rozier picks up about 3. And one thing that's obvious is the fact that it is essentially the Houston offense that Glanville ran with the Oilers, so not a lot for Rozier to pick up.
Well, he's right at home in this offense, Tim, but one thing that the Falcons have done already, they've been accused of being predictable. When they run a two-back offense, they run the ball. When they run a single-back offense in the red gun, they throw it. Early in this game, they started with a two-back offense throwing the football, so they've changed their tendencies already.
2nd down and 7. Falcons at the 30-yard line after the long gainer to Mike Haynes. Two former Oilers in the backfield. Tracy Johnson, Plan B free agent from the Oilers. And the Saints stuff that on the right side. Swilling and Von Johnson, the linebackers. Flags fly as there was some action after the whistle, and it's going to be against the Saints.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, 15 yards, first down.
Well, they didn't point out any one Saint, but Swilling was there leading the charge with Johnson. Let's see it.
All right, coming into the hole. Good tackle at the initial point of attack. Now here's where the rough stuff comes in. It's kind of hard to tell which Saint it was. I guess
they got a bunch of Saints.
They had a bunch of them there. That's pretty good football to me.
Well, Swilling said you don't run to the right on the New Orleans Saints, meaning that's where he is with Von Johnson and Jim Wilkes. Their right defensive side. The Falcons went at it, were stopped, but wound up getting a penalty that has them at the 15-yard line, opening series. Steve Broussard and Keith Jones return to the backfield for Atlanta. Broussard inside the 10. Wayne Martin on the tackle. Help from Sam Mills. He'll spot the ball at the 9-yard line.
Steve Broussard is a quick starter, has a great burst. And here he comes right off tackle, right at you. Good hole up front. Gene Atkins making an initial hit.
Second down. A long free for a first. They need to get to the 5-yard line for a first down. Broussard will be close. Broussard running to that left side hole behind Dukes and Scully and Ken. And they'll spot it, would appear just short of the first down. Third and less than a yard.
Sorry, Tim. One of the things you want to do with an offensive line is to get them in the rhythm of the game quickly. Now, Mike Ken knows he's going to have his hands full this afternoon with Pat Swilling. And one way to try to give a message to Pat Swilling that Ken is ready to go is to do something like this. You run a series of off-tackle plays and have a big tackle, 277 pounds, blocking face-to-face on him. So Swilling right now is already seeing the strength and speed of Mike Ken.
Well, we have a timeout on the field. And we'll be back at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium in a moment. Tim Ryan and Irv Cross were in the first quarter opening series. Atlanta Falcons had to take the timeout as they had a bit of a mix-up with personnel. They've been shuffling it quite a bit in this first drive, introducing Mike Rozier quickly into their offense. Now they're coming out with Chris Hinton, who'll be lined up on the left side here, Irv, and in effect a tackle eligible, with Houston Hoover moving into his right tackle spot. So they've got a lot of muscle up here as they approach the goal line at the 5. They need less than a yard for a first down. Rozier takes it inside and has a first down. Now that's what he does best. As Glanville says, he gives you that linebacker temperament in your offensive backfield. I've never seen Payne stop him. He moves the pile.
That's right. Rozier hits the hole at the point of attack. Defenders go backwards. It's quite a compliment for a back. He's a short guy, but power pack, has great acceleration, loves the contact.
Not to forget that, as they see the measurement, that Glanville is given to hyperbole. He says Rozier punishes people who try to stop him. He leaves a trail of bodies behind him.
When you talk to Glanville, you wonder how much you can really believe.
It is first and goal for the Falcons, and this guy is fired up, not only his team, but the people of Atlanta, the football fans. They've got 3 sellouts in a row. The next 2 are virtually sold out, the next 2 home games. And of course, as always, a lot of those Houdat shirts in evidence here. About 10,000 Saints fans coming up for what has become a great regional rivalry. First and goal, Atlanta. To the 1-yard line. Jones, the second-year man from Illinois, goes off limping.
Great blocking up front, though. Again, number 71, Chris Hinton, playing the tight end. There's normally a tackle. Holds the corner. John Scully does a pretty good job with the linebacker there. And Keith Jones reaching as far as he can for the goal line.
It'll be second and goal, and they need less than a yard to get to the end zone. So Broussard, Rozier, Jones, and Johnson have all gotten in on the action here in this opening drive at the running back spots. Miller sneaking, loose ball, covered by Atlanta, I believe. New Orleans comes up with the ball. Let's see. It is a touchdown signal. So once he had broken the plane, Chris Miller had scored the touchdown.
The play has been ruled as a touchdown. The ball has broken the plane prior to the fumble.
Wow. I don't think he crossed the goal. There he is. On his second effort, he crossed it. Once he went across, the ball popped out. Once he crosses that goal line, it's a dead ball. Here he goes on his initial surge. He doesn't make it. He stopped there. Sam Mills in there nails him. But then the second effort got him across.
So Greg Davis will attempt the point after. Hunter Scott Fulhag will hold. And the veteran Guy Bingham, 11-year man from Montana, will be the snapper. And obviously the delay here would indicate a review. Bill Swanson is the replay official here today.
Tim, let's take a look at it again. You can see Miller the first time trying to get across the line of scrimmage, doesn't make it. Now you'll see him surge again for a second effort. Now he's across the goal line. The question is now whether or not he had possession of the ball when he crossed the plane, because he was hit there just as he approached the goal line.
Is called touchdown.
So the replay man agrees with the call on the field, and Davis will now attempt the point after. And it's good. So the Atlanta Falcons, an impressive opening series, including a 31-yard pass to Haynes, and they lead 7-0. Tim Ryan and Irv Cross in Atlanta. There's Chris Miller, who just snuck in for the touchdown for Atlanta, ending an 80-yard drive. And the Falcons lead it 7-0, going 80 yards in 11 plays. The big one, a 31-yard pass to Michael Haynes. Interference was called on that play and tacked on, and then the Saints took another penalty for unnecessary roughness. And the Falcons kept rolling all the way to the end zone. Davis will kick it off. The deep men are Reuben Mays and Gene Atkins. Atkins waits for it at the 4-yard line. Good return for Atkins to the 32, where Darian Connor, rookie linebacker, made the stop. And the Saints have the ball for the first time. And a sellout crowd here that is quite a contrast from recent years. It's amazing the power of Jerry Glanville. You have to credit a lot of this to him. They've got two sellouts upcoming beyond the first one of 56,222. After all, they're a 1-2 team, and they have basically the same personnel they had a year ago, with the exception of Andre Rison. So the credit has to go to Glanville.
Well, he's brought him in here, no doubt about that, Tim. But the opposing teams want to get this crowd out of the game, if at all possible.
On first down, Dalton Hilliard gets about a yard. Strung out wide. And John Fourcade at quarterback. As we said at the beginning of the program, really fighting for his quarterbacking life. He has this line in front of him, young Kevin Haverdink, and then a veteran line of Dombrowski, Hilgenberg, Trapillo, Brock, and Hobie Brenner at tight end. Hilliard starting. You'll see a lot of Reuben Mays today. A 99-yard effort last week. Craig Ayward has turned into a great blocker. Eric Martin and Brett Perryman. Perryman, the speedster at wide receiver. Little gain on first down, less than a yard. One setback. Hilliard. Nowhere. the swarming attack defense led by the safety Brian Jordan, number 40, and a bunch of other Falcons. Gann and rookie Torrey Epps in the middle. Tim Green, the starting front three. Doesn't mean much. They use a lot of players. Reed, Tuggle, Rady, and Ken Tippins. You'll see Andre Bruce at that right linebacker spot on passing downs. Dimry and Sanders on the corners. Brian Jordan and Scott Case the safeties. Two new safeties this year for Atlanta. Case coming off his cornerback spot, and Jordan off the development squad. Third down. Still nearly 10 yards to go. For Turner, he's got it. Touchdown, New Orleans. And the more than 10,000 Saints fans here in Atlanta make it sound like the Superdome.
Tim,
Charles Dimry victimized.
A couple of things happened on this play. First of all, the Falcons linebackers tipped the blitz, so Forcade knew a blitz was coming. His rule in blitz, go deep. Now Dimry, the left cornerback for the Falcons, is coming in this game with a groin injury. Cannot run full speed yet without some pain. Floyd Turner took advantage of it. 68 yards for the touchdown.
Dramatic developments early in Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium. Morton Anderson for the point after. Anderson has it. And a good job by Barnhart to get the low snap up. We have a tie football game. Still 6:28 remaining, but a flag down at the line of scrimmage. Signal is against the Saints. Anderson will have to kick it from farther back. Floyd Turner, the second-year man from Northwest Louisiana State, getting more time in the early part of the season at wide receiver this year in his second season, and delivers the goods there.
Holding. Offense, number 82. 5-yard penalty. 10-yard penalty, pardon me. Retry.
John Tice, the tight end, charged with holding. Morton Anderson had that ball lined up to be a 25-yard point after, but they backed him up to where it's supposed to be. It'll be a 30-yarder. Barnhart in front of the holder. And Anderson has it. So we are tied in Atlanta. 6:28 to go, first quarter. A tie score on a 68-yard bomb. 4K to Floyd Turner. 7-7.
Really an exciting play, Tim. But again, the Falcons early on tipped blitz. So Forcade knew there was a red dog coming, or linebackers are coming after him. And his rule is to go deep when he can do that. Look at this catch. Dimry had his back to the offense, couldn't see the ball coming down, and Dimry makes a tremendous catch.
Anderson's kickoff goes deep to the end zone, and fumbled in there by Deion Sanders and covered immediately by Keith Jones. An alert play by Jones, and they don't try to bring it out. So it'll be first down from the 20. Well, yesterday in college football, Syracuse beat up on Vanderbilt 49-14. Penn State did the same to Temple. Well, those two great Eastern rivals will meet each other next Saturday, 3:30 Eastern Time, on our CBS Sports coverage of college football. John Forcade, he says, bring him on. That was his word to us yesterday. We asked him about that attack defense, the blitz. His coach Jim Morris said he actually does better against that than he does when he's standing back there looking at more of the field in a more deliberate zone-type defense. He likes it, that kind of action-oriented come at me, and he reacted well. Miller going deep on first down. Wide open is Haynes, just overthrown. Haynes had Massey, the cornerback, number 40, beat by Miles Irv, and I think he looked down to see where the sideline was.
Exactly, Tim. He slowed down. He didn't know whether or not Miller was going to get the ball out to him, because oftentimes Chris, in trying to throw the ball deep, will throw it a little short. I'll say sometimes his deep passes are short. But Haynes, in full flight, slowed down a little bit, and Chris put everything he had into that ball and threw it beyond him. Had he gone his normal rate of speed, he'd have caught it easily.
Seemed to me that he was fearful that he might have been stepping out of bounds and that he hesitated slightly.
Well, that's true. If he goes out of bounds, that's the sideline. He cannot come into the field of play and catch the ball and elbow the receiver for the next play.
So it's 2nd and 10. Miller intended for the tight end. Flags everywhere. Wilkins was grabbed by Jackson. Jackson, of course, saying that Wilkins interfered with him. But it goes against the Saints, and they've hurt themselves with penalties early. Gary Wilkins, a slow-footed tight end.
Holding. Defense, number 57. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Defensive holding is charged, apparently against Jackson.
What happens, though, Tim, is that Jackson's responsible for holding up that tight end. He's right over his head, and he wants to keep him on the line of scrimmage. He doesn't want him to release, so he'll jam him and try to stay with him. On a short pass like that, you have to jam and then let him go. He held on too long.
On first down, it is Rozier. And he gets up to the 28-yard line. That's going to leave 2nd down and about 7. Jones and Broussard now come in, as you see Rozier and Tracy Johnson, the ex-Oilers, coming off together. So it's a little bit of a surprise here by Jerry Glanville, the way he's been using his offensive backs. Saints couldn't have been prepared for this. Rozier just coming in this week. Johnson has not played much, and they've shown 2 sets of running backs early. Miller's pass tipped but caught. Michael Haynes, and he has a first down. And now for an NFL update. Let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
Well, Tim, the Houston Oilers are jumping all over the San Francisco 49ers. After an interception, Warren Moon goes 30 yards to Drew Hill. And with the point after, Houston now leads San Francisco 14-0. First quarter. Let's go back to Atlanta.
All right, Greg, here we're at the 36-yard line now of Atlanta with a first down. Good catch by Haynes on a deflected pass, and the Falcons keep it going. First down, coming upfield again smartly, as they did in the opening series. Broussard battles to the 40-yard line. Steve Broussard, who has 187 yards rushing coming into this game, had 45 against the 49ers, but suffered a sore knee. In fact, they were quite concerned it might be a serious injury. And it turned out just a sprain, and he was ready to practice the next available day.
Tim, he's had a history of injuries, even through college. You remember last night talking to Ruben Mays, who knew him at Washington State. He said he's a quick back, he has a lot of speed, but even in college, he was always in the training room. He has these little nagging things going on all the time.
Broussard broke Mays' touchdown record at Washington State. Still has turned out 2 outstanding backs in recent years. 2nd and 6. Miller finds a man, the tight end, Wilkins, and Wilkins breaks loose. To the 39-yard line of New Orleans. Brett Maxey finally stopped him.
Pat Swilling was in a blitz. At the lower part of your screen here, number 56, you'll see it from the Saints come in there trying to put pressure on Miller. But Mike Kinn, offensive tackle, does a pretty good job pushing him by. Now Chris is on his own here. Gets the ball up high to Wilkins, who makes a nice fingertip catch for the first down. A 20-yard gain.
John Settle into the ball game for the first time. Number 44. Been somewhat of an odd man out in that backfield. Jerry Glanville not happy with his blocking, but he was a great running back here for the Falcons. And he has the ball now. Cutting inside is stopped right at the line of scrimmage. First man to meet him, Wayne Martin, the second-year defensive end from Arkansas. Deion Sanders. this week talking baseball to the Atlanta Braves. His agent has had contact with him. He is a free agent. They're trying to work something out. The Falcons aren't happy that he's even thinking about anything other than football.
That's right. You know, Tim, I talked to him yesterday about it. He said, Irv, I really don't want to think about baseball. That's something else. I'm concentrating on football. I want to get ready for this game. I'm a Falcon, and that's what I want to be. Now, of course, the baseball issue is something else. He does have his agent talking to the Braves about a
You mean, so what he was saying to you was a lot of baloney?
Yeah, exactly.
Like he told us he wasn't going to watch the ball game last night. Bet he did. Haynes, Dixon, Rison, and Collins in the red gun now for Atlanta. Broussard blasting his way for 5 to the 34-yard line. It'll be third down. Listen to this action here. I'm not sure when I do that, get a chance to hear it, why you guys ever bothered to do this at all, Irv.
You notice how the screen was vibrating? That wasn't the camera moving, that was the ground shaking.
Boy, I tell you, I think you should all be certified myself. Third down. 34-yard line. Miller in the pocket. Overthrows Floyd Dixon, number 86. Miller threw that a hair earlier than he wanted to, and the Saints had pretty good coverage. Dixon had not broken free. Better at long than short there.
Looked like he might have had a misread on that too, though, Tim. And I don't know if he was expecting some kind of a zone coverage, but it wound up being a single coverage, and Dixon couldn't break away from the defender. So the Saints won that battle.
Well, Greg Davis is going to attempt a long field goal here. They're teeing it up at the 42-yard line. It'll be a 51-yard attempt officially. He's got a 51-yarder this year. And that is short and wide. Flags are down on the play. He has 2 career bests of 52. That one didn't quite make it, but let's see what happens here, maybe against New Orleans.
Delay. Defense, 12 men on the field.
Oh, my.
Oh, my, indeed.
Oh, my. Jim Mora is not going to be a happy camper.
All right, let's see if we can get 12 players here in the, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They were there. 12 of them. But Jerry Glanville said that one of the things he liked most about this game today is the fact that his team plays great special teams. But he said we're also playing a New Orleans Saints team that plays it the same way we do. They know that the special teams play is a very important part of football. They spend a lot of time at it. They do a good job at it. And I'm really surprised that the Saints will have this kind of a penalty called against them. 12 men on the field. It just would never happen.
Well, now they're measuring on the far side of the field to see whether the penalty has given them the first down, and it appears that it may have. Indeed it has. Another huge error by the Saints. Penalty-wise, that's 3 key penalties in the early going.
A penalty like that can take a lot of steam out of a team, though, Tim, because the defense came up with a tremendous effort, stopped Atlanta, forced them into a field goal situation. Now, a minute later, they go back out there again because of a penalty that just never should have been called. It's tough in a ball club to overcome plays like that.
This is one of the best defenses in football. With a lot of experience and a lot of character, but they have been hurting themselves in the early going. 1st and 10, Atlanta trying to take advantage. 7-7 ball game. Miller moves smartly away from it. Now throws deep for Haynes. Out of bounds. Miller threw that ball a long way, Irv, and Haynes made a great try to stay in bounds, just couldn't do it.
You talk about personality changes in the football team. A year ago, Chris Miller would have thrown that ball short. But Jerry Glanville wants him to think deep first, then short. Here he unloads that one a yard too long.
Well, Haynes was just cruising around in the end zone as the play had broken down with the pass coverage being good to the end zone. Haynes finally found an open spot. Miller saw him, but you saw the result. Couldn't stay in. 2nd and 10. Rising in motion. Broussard gets about 5 to the 25. Jim Wilkes on the tackle. Number 94 had been a nose man here. Of course, Warren and Geathers are gone from that front three of the Saints, and Wilkes moving over to the right defensive end, and Robert Pig Goff getting the nose spot coming over from Tampa Bay. And Wayne Martin, the number 1 pick a year ago, and now the left defensive end. And Jim Morris happy with the work of that front three.
I would think he would be, because they're playing tremendous football for him. They work well as a unit. They have great quickness and tremendous pursuit.
3rd and 6 in the red gun. Risen is open. Near the 10-yard line, another Falcon first down. Got away from Cook. And we have reached the end of the first quarter, and it has been a thriller here in Atlanta. We are tied at 7, the Saints and the Falcons.
Chris Miller, number 12, the quarterback here, has a slight roll to his left, trying to affect those linebackers. You can see number 53, Von Johnson, go with him. Then he sets up and throws back across the grain of the defense to Andre Rison for the catch in a 20-yard gain. Nice movement, nice catch.
First down at the 11-yard line. The Falcons on their second offensive series. They scored the first time they had the ball to open the game. Rison wide left. He says they'll get 15 to 20 touchdowns this year. Rozier's in the cover, and he's buried for a loss. Swarmed under by the Saints. Wilkes was there to turn him in. Pat Swilling on that right side, number 56. And Brett Maxey coming up from safety.
Tim, one thing you cannot do against a good defensive team is that. You can't reverse the field and come back, because they pursue so well and they're so quick. Now, Mike Rozier knows when he has to hit the point of attack, off tackle, anyplace else, you better go north and south, not east and west, because if you start to level it off, you're going to find a lot of Saints on your back.
13th play of this drive. Atlanta has had the football for 13:26 of the first period. New Orleans for 134, and yet they're tied. Although the Falcons are threatening again. Broussard gains back the loss and a couple of more near the 8-yard line.
This game plan is really very basic, Tim. Talking to Jim Carr, the defensive secondary coach of the Falcons, before the game, and he said, Herb, we're going to have smash mouth football today. It's face to face all the way, and that's what they've done. They've sort of singled up their offensive linemen against the Saints defensive line one-on-one, just blocking straight ahead power football and seeing if they can outmuscle them. And so far, the Falcons have had a lot of success moving the ball on the ground.
Still some Steeler fans all around the country. They have scored their first offensive touchdown of the season, you'll be happy to know. They lead San Diego 10-7. Brister passed to Eric Green in that game. Third down here from the red gun. Miller in traffic. John Collins. What a play. Watch this over Milton Mack.
It's a shame to put words on this play, Tim, because you really can't describe it. Folks, you have to see it. There he is, over Mack's back. Mack is in front of him, has good position. John Collins has jumped as high as he could and lifted the ball right off of Mack's back.
The only thing Milton Mack didn't do was turn around in time, Irv. I know you, as an old player and coach in that defensive backfield, would be telling him that. We'll be right back in Atlanta.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by the new generation of Oldsmobiles. Step into the future now at your Oldsmobile dealer. Levi's 505 and 506 jeans. And by United Airlines, serving over 200 cities in the U.S. and around the world. Come fly the friendly skies.
Tim Ryan with Irv Cross at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. We have had fireworks here in the early going. NFL football at its best. A sensational touchdown pass, 8 yards in actual distance from the line of scrimmage to the goal line. Although Miller again throwing a little deeper than the 8 yards would indicate, and a sensational catch by Collins over the back of Milton Mack. Greg Davis. High kickoff. Through the end zone, there'll be no return. And a little jawing going on in the end zone there, as the rivalry between these two teams intense and showing it. Well, we have had plenty of action here in this game. The Saints in Atlanta as usual, and the Falcons have just scored to go up on top 14-7. A bomb for Atlanta's for the New Orleans score. They've only had the ball a minute 34, and yet they're only down at touchdown.
I know, but we still expected to see smash mouth football in this game, and you get to see that because these two teams do play pretty intense defense. But Sean Collins' catch of Chris Miller's touchdown a few minutes ago was unbelievable. Here it is right here. Chris Miller setting up from the red gun. Sean Collins on the right side of your screen now is in the end zone. And watch what happens here. He just goes up high, takes the ball right off the defensive back's back. Milton Mack was the victim.
So it's first down from the 20 for the Saints. They scored on their first series with a bomb. Forcade complete to Eric Martin. Out to the 28-yard line, about an 8-yard pickup, depending on the spot. And Forcade going right to the air on first down.
And Forcade seems to be, fairly confident, fairly cool. He did come into this game under a lot of pressure, but Jim Mora told us, and Forcade himself told us, that he responds better when he's under pressure. He likes coming into a game when all the heat is on his shoulders because he has the ability to work through that.
He's got second and a short. I formation. And that is stuffed. Great penetration by the Falcons. Mike Gann, the defensive left end, number 76. No gain on the play. In fact, they'll back it up about a half a yard. So that's a little tester of a third down play now. Loss of a yard officially. Casillas comes in, number 75 at the nose tackle. A holdout this year, the number 1 pick from 1986, an outstanding player. They're glad to have him back. He's been working very hard to get into shape and into condition. Reclaiming his old spot from the rookie Torrey Epps, who started the season there. Forcade gets some time, and he has Hilliard first down and then some. Hauled down by Jesse Tuggle, number 58. But the Saints have it up to their own 37, maybe 38-yard line.
You'd call Hilliard the hot receiver coming out of here then on this particular pattern, Tim, because Forcade was anticipating some kind of a blitz maneuver by the Falcons, getting the ball away quickly to Hilliard, making a nice catch in a short area in the flat, and Tuggle making the touch, the tackle.
Bryan and Oliver Barnett are in defensively now. On first down, they've got about 5 down linemen, so they're coming again. And Forcade reacts well to Martin. They'll have a first down. Number 84, Eric Martin.
You see what's happening here, though, Tim, though? Forcade's rhythm is already set. When he comes to the line of scrimmage, he feels blitz. And he knows right now, I'm going to go to my outside receiver. If he's not there, I'm going to my tight end. So he comes away from the center. 1, 2, 3, bang, let it go. He doesn't have to scan the field to try to make up his mind who to hit. He already knows when he comes to the line of scrimmage where he wants to go with the ball.
One of the league's lowest rated passers, batting 1,000 here so far. 4 for 4, 96 yards. The big one, 68 for a touchdown. Floyd Turner. Hilliard. Again, the Falcons backing up the offensive line of the Saints. Hilliard on his own picks up 4. Green and Bruce make the stop. Hilliard's been murder on these Falcons here. Look at those numbers, Herb.
Well, over his career, he's averaged like 5 yards a carry against Atlanta, which is awesome. And like, obviously, he likes playing against them.
Had a big game here a year ago when there were only about 15,000, 20,000 fans in the stadium. Most of them were Saints fans. What a difference a year makes. Much of the Houdads here today, but they are out peopled by the Falcons fans. Huge hole in the middle. Reuben Mays first carry. To the 32-yard line of Atlanta.
A play off his right guard, Tim. He's looking for Steve Trapillo and Stan Brock to get the key block for him. They get it. Mays coming from deep in the offensive backfield, comes right up the middle, scot-free. A tremendous hole there. You and I could run through there, Tim. Deion Sanders makes an initial hit.
All the way to the 32-yard line. He had 99 against Phoenix 2 weeks ago. Of course, both these teams off last week with a bye. Coming off 2 Achilles tendon injuries, 1 to each leg, and a knee surgery. Says he's feeling fit, ready to go, and happy to be out there, obviously. Brett Harriman. Forcade's quick release here keeps him the hot hand. He said maybe the best thing to happen to him was the arrival of Steve Walsh. Right now he's playing like that. He is responding to the challenge of the youngster who came over from Dallas. Forcade has been cut by a whole bunch of teams in several leagues in his time. Knowing that this is his last chance at the Golden Ring with a youngster like Steve Welch behind him. Got to hand it to Forcade so far today. Reuben Mays, nowhere. First contact by Tony Casillas, number 75. And right next to him, number 93, Andre Bruce. Bruce, the number 1 pick in 1988, a major disappointment as a rookie and even a year ago. But he says, I like this defense. I love this attack style. Turn me loose. And he's getting playing time from Jerry Glanville in the early part of the season. Playing well. Brenner and Tice, a pair of tight ends in now on 2nd and 11. New Orleans 2 receivers out to the right. Forcade will run out of there. Brian Jordan got him, but not before he crossed the 10-yard line. First down, New Orleans.
Say what you will about Forcade's playing ability, Tim. The guy's been cut by a lot of teams in this league as well as in Canada, but he does not quit. Here he is trying to get the most he can out of a pass pattern with everybody covered. Now he's playing this game with bruised left ribs. But he said, Herb, I'm going to go without a pad because, you know, it's important to me to be able to swing that, to throw that ball without any obstruction around my ribs. So he's playing in some pain now with sore ribs.
Mays. Swarmed on by black-clad Falcons. Stopped at the 7-yard line. These black uniforms are causing a stir because Glanville likes wearing black. He did that at Houston. He brought back the black uniforms that this team had started out with the first 5 years of their franchise history. And there they are in 1966. And you remember this team because you played against them in their first game.
We played the opening game here. And looking at a team with black uniforms, Tim, you always get the feeling they're more menacing. You look bigger and stronger than your boss was. That's all a mirage, right?
Well, it is to the Saints right now because they're knocking on the door. Mays again, close to the 5-yard line. 14-7 game. It's been a great offensive show. Saints scoring on a 68-yard pass play in the first quarter. They had the ball for only a minute and a half, but this time they're grinding it out in the style they like to do. A mixture of short passing and good running.
Their offense is geared around a strong running game. Jim Moore has always believed in that, controlling the line of scrimmage, eating up the clock, and just grinding it out. They're now playing New Orleans Saints football.
6 defensive backs in. Butler and Mitchell joining the secondary for Atlanta. 4 wide receivers for the Saints. Perriman, Hill, Turner, and Martin. Touchdown, Forcade.
Another pass pattern, Tim, that breaks down. Forcade taking a long snap from center. Can't find anybody open. Pretty good pressure, but he finds daylight up front. His instincts take over. Get in the end zone. There he goes. Touchdown.
Morton Anderson for the point after to tie it up. .456 to play. First half. We're tied at 14. Turnabout is fair play. They used up 8:18 on that drive. 12 plays for this touchdown.
Here's the touchdown, 5 yards out. One thing Forcade likes to do is scramble. This time he scrambles with a mission straight up the field for the touchdown, a 5-yard run.
So we're tied at 14. Anderson's kickoff. Sanders 2 yards deep. Sanders stopped at the 16-yard line. Good special teams play by the Saints. They'll be right back. Well, a couple of baseball players here in this football game today. Deion Sanders, of course, the former Yankee, now talking to the Atlanta Braves, at least his agent is. And Brian Jordan, his teammate in the secondary. Number 40, there's Sanders, who plays at minor league baseball. In fact, Glanville is, there's number 40. Glanville has given him the nickname Bazabol. And right today, they're playing football in a very exciting football game from Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. We're tied at 14. Tim Ryan and Irv Cross watching Atlanta and the Saints with 4:46 to go first half. Chris Miller, 6 of 9, 94 yards and a touchdown. Has the ball first down to the 17. Deep sideline for Haynes again, and Massey nearly picks this off. Robert Massey had the coverage, and Maxey came over to help. Or Atkins, pardon me, number 28.
A couple of things has to happen on a play like that, though, Tim. He has to throw the ball quicker so the receiver can run through it full stride. Now, I think Miller's arm is only going to be about a 50-yard throw that he can throw accurately. When he goes beyond that, he has some difficulty getting that deep ball out there. Now, Haynes is a world-class sprinter. He's going to have to lead him a little faster to get him under it.
2nd and 10, Atlanta. Miller a 6 of 10 day. Forcade a perfect 5 of 5. Flags fly. They try to stop the play, but Miller got the ball out to Risen.
Ball start. Offense, number 61. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down. 2nd down.
Veteran Notre Dame guard John Scully probably still distracted by that upset yesterday at the hands of the Harvard of the West.
You mean Stanford beating Notre Dame was an upset?
Wow, I want to tell you, I didn't sleep all night. Couldn't believe that. I'm sure that's why Scully took that penalty.
Well, I want you to know that Dennis Green is the head coach at Stanford, who was formerly the head coach at Northwestern. I'm not saying anything else.
Well,
alma mater.
They had the Fighting Irish had to run out of miracles, but against Stanford,
well,
in any event, 2nd
38 seconds.
and 15. Scully sat out all last year in a holdout dispute with the management here, but Glanville glad to have him back, install him right into that left guard spot, and they have a very solid defensive line or offensive line with Dukes, Falick, Hinton now moving in at right tackle, and Mike Kim, the left tackle. 2nd and 15 out for Broussard, and Broussard actually caught the ball, but it winds up being a loss. Quite a juggling act as Sam Mills kept bumping him. The rookie had nowhere to go had he caught the ball the first time, but it wound up being a loss.
Terrific coverage by Sam Mills. Mills in this play is responsible for following Broussard one-on-one. Man to man, look how closely he's covering him. Tremendous defensive effort. Mills almost came up with that ball.
So it'll be third down. The ball back now at the 8-yard line. You think Swilling might be trying to get to the quarterback on this play?
Well, he's been trying most of the day, but Mike Kenn's done a pretty good job of keeping him on the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 19 now. This is Jackson and Swilling territory here when you got them back at their own 8-yard line.
After further review, the ball was a completed pass on the 9-yard line.
Well, they picked up a yard on the play. Less of a yard less on the loss is what it turned into. It's being spotted at the 9.
And this field is the part of the field, though, Tim, if you're a tremendous pass rusher, as Pat Swilling is, and Ricky Jackson on the outside for the Saints, you know, this is your territory. This is the time for you to kind of rise and come up with a big play. The Saint defense can even score in this situation. You can force.
What about safety blitz here? Do you think they might go with that?
Wow, I'm looking at it. I don't think they'll do that. They like to go on the outside with their 2 corner linebackers. Let's see if they elect to do that. They're laying off with their safety.
Miller gets some time. Deep sideline for Collins. Sean Collins cut it back in from the sideline. A huge play for a first down.
Tremendous play. Collins has made some great catches this afternoon. This is another one. Coming back inside the defensive back, laying off there, trying to run a deep hook. Comes up with a big catch.
Milton Mack is the injured Saint. We'll be right back. Well, remember next week, the NFL on CBS. The champion 49ers will be here in Atlanta. That game is sold out. They're really excited about it. Game 2 on CBS. Some of you will see the Giants at Washington, and others will see Dallas at Phoenix. Milton Mack, the nickelback, is on the bench being attended to. Sean Collins told us yesterday when we spoke to him when the Saints arrived that he thought he could do some business deep against this secondary, and he did there. 32 yards out from the shadow of their goal line. They're at midfield. And Dixon has a first down out at the 51-yard line.
The Red Gun
at the 51. I'm in the Canadian League at the 49.
That's okay. The Red Gun offensive work here. Dixon in the slot runs a short pattern to the outside. Scott Free. What they do is they read the defensive backs. If they come in to play short zones, they kind of turn up. If they lay off, they cut it back. So he read off that defensive back and broke it to the outside.
Just short of the first down. 49-yard line of the Saints. Broussard, and he appears to have picked up the first down. It'll be close. Brett Maxey on the hit, and it is a first down, Atlanta.
The Saint linebackers pursue very well on any running play. You see the bevy of white shirts going to the ball carrier, Broussard, number 97. Finally wrapping him up. Battle Turnbull.
Turnbull, the number 1 pick this year. Miller from the red gun on first down. Rising puts on a lot of miles just in going in motion. Out of the backfield, Broussard fell down. Good second effort to turn it into a small gain anyway. Unless they mark him down. And now it looks like they're signaling an incomplete pass. So we've reached the 2-minute warning here in Atlanta. We're tied at 14. A 14-14 tie, 2 minutes to go first half. It's been a very exciting game before a sellout crowd here in Atlanta. Atlanta with 2 timeouts remaining. Tim Ryan and Irv Cross, and this game's been fun from the get-go. Is it different from what you expected?
Well, yeah, I expected the Saints to come out and establish a running game right away and dominate the game on the ground, but so far in the first half, they've only rushed for 41 yards. So that Falcon defense has done a pretty good job against the rush. They've done that all year long, but I thought the Saints would have an advantage there.
What a job by John Forcade. Steve Walsh in town, all the talk about the next quarterback of the Saints, and boy, has he delivered so far.
He has, but I think Jim Moore sort of let us in on a little secret last night when he said, knowing Forcade's personality as I do, I expect him to play well tomorrow because he plays well under pressure.
Well, he's got the pressure from Welch. He's got the pressure from the attack defense, as it's called here in Atlanta, but he has responded very well indeed. Quick passes, and he has been connecting. One for a bomb for a score, and then a good grind out long drive, more than 80 yards for the second touchdown. Forcade running it in. He and Miller have each scored. 2nd and 10 Atlanta at the 48-yard line of the Saints. 2 minutes to go. Chris Miller will try to give the home team the lead, and we've got a little delay on the field. Just going back to the previous play to Broussard, since we went away to commercial, it was ruled an incomplete, as we said, although it appeared to us that he had caught the ball and got up and run with it, but it was ruled incomplete. Now you see our referee, Dick Hantak, explaining to Jim Mora what has occurred. There's 2:03 on the clock, but we have already taken the 2-minute warning. And in fact, the clock previously showed 2 minutes. So we've got to get that fixed. And Hantak is, I'm sure, is saying we're keeping time on the field here, coaches. Jerry Glanville, all in black, big belt buckle and all. Trip to his office is an experience not to be forgotten here in Atlanta. We got a big cutout of James Dean, Elvis Presley memorabilia of all types, pictures of Harley Davidsons with him on them, cowboy hats, Travis Tritt posters. It's a trip, folks. So is he. 10. Complete. Collins, I believe. Let's check it. It is Dixon with the catch and about a 7-yard gain. Floyd Dixon, 5'9", 170-pounder. And we have a timeout on the field. Now, they've thrown here, leaving 3rd and short. They have the ball at the Saints 41 in a tie game here. Irv, what do you think? Their best success has been in the red gun. Think about that and give us your analysis when we return after this commercial message. Well, Irv, you've had a lot of time to think about it. What are they going to do?
Well, let's watch. They're in the red gun. Inside the 50, they've been the red gun throwing the ball deep.
And that one is underthrown. And really the first bad pass by Miller the entire half. Intended for Rison. That is the most that he has been off target, even though his stats would indicate 9 of 14. He has been very sharp. Well, coming up at halftime, Greg Gumbel and Terry Bradshaw with all the scores, highlights, and the latest information from around the National Football League. We've got a 4th down situation here now, and the Falcons are going to go for it. Glanville would do nothing else at this stage in this place on the field.
This is what he calls living on the edge, Tim.
One of his many favorite expressions. Miller, and he's got Rison. First down.
Hook.
1:40 and counting down.
Yesterday, Andre Rison said, I'm the anytime receiver. Go long, go short, possession, anytime you want it, come to me. I have a feeling in that huddle, he said, Miller, come to me, and he did for the first down.
Well, they started the play, but it may have been a false start against the Falcons because flags flew and play was stopped. Yes, Andre Rison does not lack confidence, but he is a likable guy.
False start. Offense, number 78, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Mike Kinn, the veteran, takes the false start penalty. 1:26 on the clock. Look at that, Jets shutting out Miami. 15. Miller gets lots of time. And it is incomplete. In and out of the hands of Michael Haynes. Got a good shot in the back from Massey just as the ball arrived, number 40. 1:20 remaining, 2nd and 15. An imposing array of receivers this young quarterback has to throw to, and he loves this offense. He said last year we didn't even have an audible system with the former coaching staff. They give him a lot of leeway, and it's been paying off for Miller, who's very comfortable in this offense. 11 of 18 here in the first half.
Really found that hard to believe, Tim, that pro football quarterback not being able to audibilize.
Good pressure this time, picked up. Brett Maxey.
The Saint defense, Tim, has a great deal of pride in stopping the run, taking the ball away, but they also want to score with the ball. Now, this is a big play. Brett Maxey picking this one off, rambling along the far sideline. Looks like he has a chance to go all the way, but here come the Falcons recovering. Chris Miller turns it back inside before Broussard brings him down.
Good effort by Broussard on the chase and the quarterback, as you pointed out, turning him in. So they stopped him at the 26-yard line. 1:10 left. Let's see what the Saints can do. Pat Swilling playing in front of friends and family here. Bought 37 tickets to this game. The former Georgia Tech star. And comes up with a big play, pressuring Miller. Hilliard. Gets about 3 swarmed under by Falcon defenders. Led by Jesse Tuggle. Minute to go for Cade and company. The tide quickly turned as the Falcons were threatening to take the lead in the final 2 minutes of this half. Instead, it's the Saints with a chance, at least at a field goal. For Cade, 5 of 5 passing in this first half. He has run for a score. Is it intercepted or not? Evidently, Falcons get it back. Jesse Tuggle diving to pick off the pass from Cade. His first mistake in this first half. And now they're saying he was sacked by Mike Gann.
Well, let's take a look. You remember now he has to be in the grasp and in the control. Certainly, yeah. Gann has him. He's going down.
Timeout.
Tosses the ball away.
Their first timeout.
We saw a play similar to that a week ago.
We sure did. Identical play.
Identical player. Mike Gann has him all wrapped up. 4K trying to make something out of nothing. Throws the ball away. Tuggle comes up what he thought was an interception, but once Gann had 4K wrapped up, he's in the grass. The play is dead. Quarterback's down.
Well, it's a real coincidence because last week in the Tampa, Minnesota game you and I covered, we had the same kind of a thing. We'll come back and talk about that. Taking a look at what's happening around the league this week in the NFL. Well, 3 undefeated teams coming into the day. San Francisco already in trouble in their game with Houston, the Giants and the Raiders. And the NFC East teams are off, meaning the Giants cannot lose today. Dallas is in action as one of the being one of the fifth place teams. And Sam White fined $30,000 for not allowing the woman reporter into the locker room last week. A serious nick in the wallet.
So, Tim, looking at this bye week, you're talking to both of these coaches here today. They like having the week off. We didn't know whether or not the coaches would accept that or not this year. They seem to like having that break.
Forte gets a life there on the sack. Throws it out of bounds this time. Floyd Turner down there on the sideline, but Forte looked like he threw that one away. That'll bring Anderson on for the field goal try. But going back to that play, last week it happened with Tampa Bay and Minnesota. Testaverde threw an interception. Minnesota took into the end zone, but he had been sacked and the play was whistled dead. And it's just coincidental. We asked Jim Finks, the general manager of the Saints, who's on the competition committee, whether he liked that rule or not, because it looked like the defense was really getting penalized. He said, the play's over. The play's over. Wonder how he feels right now. Anderson's field goal try from the 37-yard line, well, closer to the 36.
Their second timeout.
And Atlanta
This is
takes
a 40
a timeout.
timeout.
It'll be a 46-yard try when play resumes. But that is ironic to have that situation occur like that back-to-back.
Yeah. He's got it. He's got it.
Jerry Glanville taking the timeout there, and no doubt hoping that somehow they can prevent this field goal try by Anderson. Two men in black battling each other. Tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, CBS Sports presents our Game 3 of the National League Championship Series between the Pirates and the Cincinnati Reds. The best-of-7 series all tied up at a game apiece. Interesting, both of the big starting pitchers suffering losses in the opening game. Action resumes at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern Time here on CBS.
Talking about action, did you see the game last night? Oakland coming back in the 9th inning.
I sure did. Great ball game till the final inning. It looked like Little League.
Awesome.
It was a thriller up to that point. Congratulations to Will Chance. Anderson's kickoff try, or his field goal try, is good. Morton Anderson has given the Saints the lead. .15 seconds still to play. He is 6 of 6 in field goals for the season, and topped his season long. Had been 41, a 46-yarder for Anderson, a 17-14 New Orleans lead. What a ball game. You think back to that first quarter. Atlanta had the ball the entire quarter. They wound up 7-7. One big play, the bomb by Fourcade, accounting for their touchdown. And then when the Saints got the ball the second time, Irv, it looked more like New Orleans style football because they used up 8 minutes on the clock.
Grinding it out. But again, I think when the game finally comes down to the final conclusion, it's going to be the special teams area where we're going to see the difference, because Jerry Glanville works very hard. Here's a special teams coach right here, works very hard. They're trying to develop a top 5 special teams unit, and New Orleans approaches it the same way. I mean, you can't find a better field goal kicker around anywhere than Morton Anderson.
So Anderson trying to kick off here in 15 seconds for the Falcons to try and do something. If anybody can, it's that guy, number 21, Deion Sanders. Dangerous every time he has his hands on the ball. Playing with a little bit of a knee injury. From a yard deep, he'll go for it. But not very far. To the 17-yard line. 10 seconds remaining. Craig Hayward made the tackle. Miller, 11 of 19, has a touchdown and 1 interception. It set up the go-ahead field goal by Anderson.
Deion Sanders. Well, he went into the huddle. I thought he was going to play offense. Now he's coming out. He walked in there.
He does do that. They'll put him in, especially in the 2-minute situations, as a receiver. And maybe he just decided to insert himself into the lineup, hoping they leave him there.
Well, the offensive guy has chased him out. He's on the sideline now. Talking about issues around the league, though, Tim, looking at the fine that Sam Weiss suffered in the league office, $30,000 a week's pay. Talking to Jim Moore about it last night. His reaction to that was really classic.
Yeah, Jim Morris said he really wasn't going to think anything about keeping anybody out once he saw the size of the fine.
Yeah, but then he settled down. Yeah, but then he settled down and said that our players handle it. They're professionals. We haven't had any problem. They're very professional about it. And as long as the other person's professional, we don't anticipate any problem. It's just, you know, that's the way it is in 1990.
Well, you can see the Saints with a terrific winning percentage, but only once into the playoffs. Of course, they're playing, unfortunately for them, in the same division as the team on top, plus the very tough LA Rams. And the Falcons may be a piece of that this year. They're going to run it on first down to Broussard. And they'll go into the, you can see Miller, well, you couldn't see him there, but Miller looked over saying, I would like to throw him the ball. Now they got the timeout call with 1 second left. Miller doesn't look happy yet either at the play selection or on that. You know, perhaps wanted to throw the ball, go for it. You're deep in your own end, whether Glanville decided, hey, we're just down 3 here, let's just be conservative. But they did take another timeout. Let's see what they do here with they had the what they call their squadron right lineup out there, so they were going to throw the big banner Hail Mary pass, but for some reason they opted to run it.
Well, you'll see it this time or something like that, because Deion Sanders isn't on the field right now with the offense, and you can also be rest assured that the Saints defensive backs will be backed up 30 or 40 yards, so no one's going to get behind them. This ball is caught. It's going to be caught in front of that Saints secondary.
So there's Sanders, number 21. He comes out with Haynes and Risen. It's a little scary look out on the right side. 1 play left in the first half. And Miller airs it out. Bunch of Saints waiting for it, and it gets bobbled around and winds up incomplete. And that's the end of the first half with the score. The New Orleans Saints 17, the Atlanta Falcons 14. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, Jeep, and Eagle dealers, where you get the advantage. MCI, let us show you. And by Bud Light, everything else is just a light.
Welcome back, everyone, to our studios in New York. Along with Terry Bradshaw, I'm Greg Gumbel. Those of you watching the New Orleans Saints take on the Atlanta Falcons, let's get you caught up with the scores as they exist right now, beginning with the game in Houston. Terry Bradshaw said on the pregame show the Oilers would beat the San Francisco 49ers.
Now, Gregory.
So far, you're half right. Watch Joe Montana step back here. Is he a little rusty from the week off? I don't know, but Richard Johnson steps in front of Jerry Rice and picks it off. And the fans love that. They liked it even more on the very next play when Warren Moon went 30 yards.
Moon looking to the right, pulls a free safety. Lott over. Lott has a habit of trying to key on the quarterback. He does, allowing the receiver behind him for the touchdown.
Meanwhile, that Houston defense keeping the pressure on Montana. That's number 79, Ray Childress, with the sack. Now, on this reception, Roger Craig out of the backfield sets an all-time record for receptions by a running back, his 493rd, eclipsing the mark previously held by Walter Payton of the Bears. Meanwhile, Montana back to work with Jerry Rice.
How many times will you see this? Very seldom will you see a quarterback have that much time to throw the football inside the 10-yard line. Montana's offensive line, all the time in the world, Montana went 1 receiver, 2 receiver. Rice, all the way from right to left, gets, what, the favorite route in football? Crossing route, pattern. Touchdown.
Okay, Terry. They're at halftime, of course, in the game you're watching at Atlanta, where the Falcons trail the Saints by a score of 17-14. The New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins have just gone to the third quarter. The Jets with a goal line stand to keep the Dolphins off the board as time ran out in the first half. They lead it by 13 as the second half gets underway. Kansas City and Indianapolis winding down, less than a minute to play in the first half. The Chiefs lead the Colts by 3. Tampa Bay and Dallas have just begun the third quarter of play in Dallas, and the Cowboys leading Tampa Bay by a score of 7-3. Ray Perkins upset about something and not real pleased about this pass from Troy Aikman.
It's just a simple, look at Novacek, the tight end, flexed out 3 yards, gets man-to-man coverage, and for a tight end to beat a defensive back is boy, that's unheard of, but Novacek does it and gets the touchdown.
Vinny Testaverde only 2 of 5 for 14 yards in the first half for Tampa Bay. Halftime at Minnesota, the Vikings are leading the Lions by a score of 20-10. Donald Igwebuike with a couple of field goals for Minnesota. San Diego at Pittsburgh, the Steelers 16-58 into the game, score their first offensive touchdown, and they even added another one before the first half ended. The Steelers lead it 17-7. And halftime at New England, where the Patriots are trailing Seattle. That game has now begun, the second half. The Seahawks leading the Patriots by a score of 19-10. And the NFL Today will continue here on CBS after this word from your local station. Welcome back to our New York studios, everyone. A reminder, Game 2 of the American League Championship Series comes your way tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern Time here on CBS. The A's ran away with Game 1 last night. The Red Sox hoping to regroup. Here with a report, Jim Gray, joined by Oakland catcher Terry Steinbach.
Thank you very much, Greg. With me now, Terry Steinbach, catcher of the Oakland A's. And Terry, the big victory last night. Get up this morning, this afternoon, everybody's talking about an A's sweep. How do you guard against overconfidence?
I just think, you know, in the playoffs, anything can happen. And we have to do what we've done all season. That's play one game at a time. So going into tonight's game, we're just going to concentrate on trying to get some runs on the board early. And hopefully Bobby can keep the lead for us.
Terry, it seemed as though you guys just allowed the Red Sox to hang around for about 7 or 8 innings, just kind of wearing them down. Was that the case? Definitely.
You know, when you go against a quality pitcher like Roger Clemens, the idea is to battle him every at-bat, you know, try to make him throw a lot of pitches, try to have good ABs, and then sometime in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, maybe 9th inning, he'll make a mistake. He'll allow you guys to get a couple runs across the plate.
Jose Canseco finally came out and said it a couple of days ago. The Oakland A's are a dynasty. Do his teammates concur?
I don't know. It's, you know, personally speaking, I think it's too early to tell. I think if we meet back here 5 or 6 years from right now, we can look back, then I think we might be able to answer that question.
Terry, thanks for joining us. We look forward to Game 2 coming up tonight. Let's go back to our studios and Greg Gumbel.
Jim, Terry, thank you. Again, it's Game 2 of the American League Championship Series tonight at 8 Eastern on CBS. Bob Welch on the mound for Oakland, facing Dana Kicker for Boston. Right now, back to the stadium and the football game you're watching here on CBS.
Back in Atlanta, we have a 17-14 game. New Orleans Saints leading by 3 points, and they have had wild games in the history of this battle between the two regional rivals. And here's one of the best, September 1979 at the Superdome. Watch this.
Long count. Oh! It's over Erxlaven's head. It's at the 10. It's at the 5. Anybody scores wins. Erxlaven running. He throws the ball. It's caught in the air by Bias. Touchdown Atlanta. Falcons win.
Well, it'll be hard to top that call, but maybe not the game the way it's going. 17-14. We've had excitement here, and we'll be back with more in a moment.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? Hewlett-Packard LaserJet printers, they'll get you noticed. And by Coors Light, the one that won't slow you down. The Silver Bullet is the right beer now.
Tim Ryan and Irv Cross here, halftime, 17-14 Saints lead. John Forcade came into this game with all that pressure on, the signing of Steve Welch. Not getting off to a great start this season himself, and he responded very, very well in the first half.
He responded well indeed. The first pass he threw in for a 68-yard touchdown. You know, Forcade looking upfield to his wide receiver Turner, finds him working one-on-one against Dimery. Now Dimery from the Atlanta Falcons comes into this game, Tim, with a groin injury. He really can't run full speed yet. He has some difficulty. And you can see here the receiver taking the ball right out of his hands. Floyd Turner going 68 yards on the very first pass Forcade threw.
Now, perhaps the most exciting pass play of the first half was this one that gave Atlanta a 14-17 lead. Watch Miller. He'll be throwing from his right to his left corner to Sean Collins.
Sean Collins makes a great catch right off the back of Milton Mack. The defensive back has his back turned to him, and Collins goes over his head, takes it right off his back for the touchdown. Sensational play.
Sean Collins went on to make another big first down play when the Falcons were backed up deep in their own end. Wound up getting them out to midfield with another dandy catch. But the Saints on a field goal by Anderson following an interception. Miller's only interception of the first half, picked off by Maxey, and setting up a 46-yard field goal by Morton Anderson and a 3-point New Orleans lead. A lot of New Orleans fans on hand here as always. This is a great regional rivalry. They come up 10 to 15,000 strong. This year was harder to get tickets, and a lot of them were turned away. But they are very good in evidence, and Falcons fans are, more importantly to this franchise, even more in evidence. Field goal deep into the end zone, not brought up by Haynes. And New Orleans will start from the 20-yard line. Bright sunny afternoon, hot and humid in Atlanta. Temperatures in the low 80s. And John Forcade trying to keep young Steve Welch on the bench, not just today, but for the rest of the season. replaced Bobby Hebert with 3 games left last year. The Saints won them all. But things did not start so well for the much-traveled Forcade this year. But he is coming off a victory over Phoenix and a very good first half, despite 1 interception here against Atlanta. Hilliard, first down. The Forcade interception, we should certainly add and clarify, was nullified by the sack on the play. Hilliard got him out to the 31-yard line. Dalton Hilliard last year rushed for 1,262 yards and led the NFL in touchdowns with 18. They've got a lot of weapons. First down from the 31, New Orleans. Right to left in their white jerseys. Forcade gets time and a diving grab. Brett Perryman. About an 8-yard gain.
Completed short pass from Forcade to Perryman, but it all starts up front. The center, Joel Hilgenberg, has the responsibility of controlling the man on his nose. You can see him right there, number 61, centering the ball, and 74 moves over him. And he gets his hands up quickly to keep control of it. There he is. F's not able to penetrate because Hilgenberg gets his hands up quickly in position to keep him off the quarterback.
Now, Perryman did not come up with that diving catch. It's an incomplete pass, 2nd and 10. Through nowhere for Hilliard. 3 Falcons met him, and then 4 more joined in when he turned back the other way. Torrey Epps, the rookie from Memphis State, led the charge, and Michael Reed wrapped him up.
Dalton Hilliard trying to make something out of a bad situation. The point of attack's on the left side of the line here. Nothing's there because 74 Epps penetrates and forces him to the backside. Now, once that happens, here comes the rest of the black shirts. 95 Reed making the initial hit.
3rd and 19 for Forcade and company. Receivers, and Tim Green across the line of scrimmage. Was he drawn? Number 99, Tim Green, the Syracuse star, came here as a linebacker, turned into a defensive lineman.
Offside defense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
An offside against Green, the former Rhodes Scholar candidate. 240 to 45 pounds is quite an amazing athlete, Irv, when you think about how they're playing him now. He's a defensive end. Sometimes you even have him inside in a 4-man front. Here's a guy that came here as a linebacker.
He's undersized for a defensive lineman. He's only 6'2", and you think that he's playing against a tackle 6'5", 285, but he holds his own in there quite well.
Down over again. Forcade is going to take off. Stumbles. Tripped over the 30-yard line and came down at the 35. That'll bring up 4th down. Had a chance to get the first down had he stayed on his feet. He needed about another 6, but there was some daylight there.
That could very well be a case of, in this Scott case who made the tackle, of a quarterback who normally plays on artificial surface playing on grass, but they very seldom play on grass, and the long cleats getting caught in the grass.
Sanders back to receive the punt. First of the day from Barnhart. Good kick. Sanders fair catches at the 18 of Atlanta. We'll be back at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium in a moment. Saints lead by 3. Tim Ryan with Irv Cross here in Atlanta, 17-14. New Orleans Saints lead as we're just underway in the 2nd half. Big Jamie Dukes, he's quite an entertaining personality to talk to, Irv, and has come up here as a free agent guard out of Florida State, became the starting center.
Well, taking over that guy, Jeff Van Note, who seemed to play here forever. You can see how many years he played for the Falcons, but Dukes is a little guy, well, short anyway, 285 pounds, and the strongest guy on that offensive line.
Dan Note, the radio commentator doing the Falcons games on WSB. On first down, Rozier gets about 6 yards. Up close to the 25-yard line.
Following up on that Jamie Duke story, Tim, Jeff Van Note told him that if you're going to be an effective center in this league, you have to change up. You have to have different blocking techniques in order to control that tackle over your head. And he said he learned a great deal from the old veteran. He's listened to him very intently, and he thinks he's an effective center now because he has a variety of blocking techniques he can employ each game.
Down to 3. There's a good hole for a first down to the 30-yard line. Johnson making the stop, and Duke's helping to open up the hole for Rozier. Jamie Dukes, along with his duties as the center on this team, is also the fine master on the Falcons team. The players fining each other, in effect, for a variety of misdeeds in the locker room, and he's the guy that gets to assess the fines and collect the money.
Collects the money, puts it in the bank, or wherever else he puts it. He's the guy who calls all the shots on the fines. He's judge and jury.
First down, Falcons at their 30. Miller wants to throw, deep sideline. Risen is tripped up, dives for the try. Can't make the catch. He's an unhappy wide receiver. Toy Cook had the coverage. They did get their feet tangled up, but no call.
There was some bumping in there, Tim, but again, the official has to use good judgment. Is this incidental contact or not? Risen going for the ball. You can see his heel tips Toy Cook's leg as he goes forward, but Cook obviously was trying to make a play on the ball, not the receiver, so they don't call the penalty. I think it's a good call.
So it's a 2nd and 10. Miller not happy with it. Ball just off the fingertips of Andre Rison. Rison had 3 catches back in the first half. From the red gun on 2nd down. Inside handoff for Broussard. Now takes it outside and may have a first down. Robert Massey stopped him. Broussard came into this game with a sore knee, but he has really been seeing a fair amount of action, splitting time with Rozier.
One of the things they were concerned about was whether or not Broussard can make quick cuts like that. His greatest asset is his quick start and his ability to change direction. Look at this. As he breaks out to almost a 90-degree angle, getting outside on a play that started way over his right guard. Terrific move.
Close to 10, but short of the first down. It'll leave 3rd and about a half a yard. Hinton comes in to line up on that left tight end spot for the short yardage play, and Hoover comes in at right tackle for Atlanta. And it looks like they have it. Rozier over the 40-yard line for a Falcons first down. Hoover continues at right tackle. He's dividing the time today with Hinton. Spot where at the beginning of the season John Hunter was the starter, but he has a hip injury. Nonetheless, I think most everybody expects that Hinton will wind up in that spot, and they've got great backup ability in Hoover there, number 69, who was a guard when the season began. So they're developing real good depth for this veteran offensive line of Atlanta.
Tim, even though John Hunter's out today, he told me during the pregame warm-up, he's standing on the sidelines. He expects to be back in the lineup next week.
Broussard shakes one tackle and turns it into close to a 4-yard pickup. Ricky Jackson is there. And along with number 96, Michael Simmons, a first-year man from Mississippi State. It'll be 2nd and 7 for the Falcons, and 3 new defenders come on for the Saints. Milton Mack, pass rusher Ronaldo Turnbull, their number 1 pick from West Virginia, and Robert Goff. The Saints looking for pass here. Miller swings it out for Broussard, and he dropped the ball. Didn't seem to have his hands in the right position to catch that one, and was a bullet from Miller. So that brings up 3rd down. But a penalty infraction against the Saints. They had 2 or 3 costly
Defense,
ones.
5 yards, automatic first down.
That's a big one, Tim. Automatic first down on the defensive holding penalty. Only 5 yards, but the Falcons recycled here for the first down.
Boy, you're not kidding. That's a huge play. You can see Moore upset. Now out at the 49-yard line, and the Atlanta Falcons with a first down, now working the Saints side of the field, just a yard away from it. Saints lead it 17-14. Loose ball. Miller diving out. I believe came up with his own fumble on the exchange, but the Saints say they have it. See what the officials have to say. No sign that it's New Orleans ball yet.
Ruled down in contact with the ball. 2nd down.
So it is still Atlanta possession, and Miller dove out there. He had a little trouble with an exchange, costly situation against the 49ers 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 49ers 2 weeks ago, within a 2-minute period, they're trying to get a drive going, and he bobbled a snap. He said he took the ball and threw it down to the ground to stop the clock, but it looked as though it was a fumble. And again, they had a bad exchange. So he and Dukes are having trouble getting the ball away.
2nd and 11. Miller, he's got Haynes, who holds on against a real good hit. Massey and Benny Thompson sandwiching Haynes. He gets up limping, but what an effort to hang on.
He gets up limping, Tim, but he does what he has to. A deep post pattern, running inside the 45-degree angle, heading towards the safety man. He sees that defender in there, but concentrates on the ball all the way into his hands and makes a terrific catch.
Yeah, Massey already had him wrapped up, so he was helpless against the hit coming at him from Thompson, number 37. And meanwhile, Gene Atkins going limping off for the Saints. We'll be right back. Well, what's going to happen in Boston tonight? The A's and the Red Sox, game 2 of the exciting American League Championship Series. Sox will try to even it up. Roger Clemens did his job last night, but when he left a little weary after 6, boy, all hell broke loose there in that final inning, and the champion A's wound up winning in a rout.
7 runs in the ninth.
Wow. Fenway Park provides that kind of excitement all the time, especially when the Red Sox got those big games at stake.
Tim,
flags fly on first down.
I wonder if Jamie Dukes knows he's playing with 10 other guys. He's had a little bit of problem with the exchange with Chris Miller. This time, everybody leaves except the ball. Let's see what happens here.
We have a delay. The game clock had expired. 5-yard penalty on the offense. Still first down.
Well, having a delay of game when you've just had a timeout on the sideline to get your play sorted out, that's bad news.
Back, Judge. We don't have anything.
1st and 15. Backs it up to the 31-yard line. Miller from the red gun. It's complete to Risen. Hauled down with a high tackle from Massey at the 20-yard line. And for an NFL update, let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Tim, at Houston, the 49ers pull into a tie. Look at the time Joe Montana has to throw. Time enough for John Taylor to break free. 78 yards and a touchdown. And with the point after, the Niners and the Houston Oilers are now tied at 14. Back to Atlanta, Tim and Herb.
Taylor cruising, Greg. Boy, he is off to a great start this season.
Tim, that's the same pattern he ran against the Atlanta Falcons 2 weeks ago for a touchdown. The Falcons were in a zone coverage, came all the way across the field, bang, scored late in the game to win it for the 49ers.
2nd down and close to 5 required for the Falcons here. They're at the 20. For the end zone,
every time he scores, he has a little walk he does in the end zone. But right now, Chris Miller finds Andre Rison right up the middle, beating Massey for the touchdown. Watch, here he goes with his walk.
The little highlight zone, he calls that. Davis for the point after. It's good. The Falcons are in front. Chris Miller on the money. 6:01 to go in the third. 21-17. Tim Ryan with Irv Cross, where the Atlanta Falcons here in Atlanta have just taken the lead 21-17 on a 20-yard strike from Miller to Andre Rison. The young man that came over from Indiana in the Jeff George trade and promptly announced that he would get 15 to 20 touchdowns this season. Well, he's got one here today. Davis will kick it off. Reuben Mays from the 2. To the 22. Met there by Brian Jordan, and tempers have been flaring here as the heat of this game is picked up. 82 yards in 10 plays, 6:06 off the clock. The 20-yard score to Rison. Here it is.
Really perfect timing, Tim. Rison going right up the field, straight ahead. Chris Miller spots him here, right at the goal line, makes the catch. Beating Massey, the defensive back, and here he goes with this little highlight zone walk, right?
Yeah, and that did not go over well with the Saints defender, Benny Thompson. First down, New Orleans at their 22. Katie's got a man wide open. Mays out of the backfield. To the 12-yard line of Atlanta. One huge play again for New Orleans. And the many Saints fans decked out in their gold shirts go wild.
He knows right now it's a blitz. Linebackers are coming, so he sees before the ball snapped where he wants to go with the ball. There's Reuben Mays, his outlet man. Missed tackle there. Mays does the rest, taking the ball all the way down inside the 20-yard line. 65-yard gain. Oh, brother. Again, Coach Moore told us that when you blitz 4K, that's his game. He wants to see the pressure. He can go right now to those outlet receivers.
They'll have a first down at the 12-yard line, bouncing right back from the Atlanta touchdown. And a timeout is called by New Orleans, it appears. Orcade wants to talk it over with Jim Mora. We'll be right back. Well, next week there'll be more of this exciting NFL action. Atlanta will be at home to San Francisco in game 1 of our doubleheader. In game 2, you'll see the Giants at Washington. Some of you will see Dallas at Phoenix. And Dallas presently leading the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 14-10 in the fourth quarter. The Bucs coming off their exciting win over Minnesota last week. First down after a 66-yard gain. Andre Bruce has come in to join Green, Casillas, and Gann in a 4-man front for Atlanta. Saints have it at the 12-yard line. Hilliard. Met by Casillas, but not before he picked up 3, maybe 4 yards. And again, tensions and emotions running high. It's a great rivalry, these two southern regional towns.
Tremendous. This is terrific football. You know, smash face football. That's what Jim Carr calls it, defensive coach for the Atlanta Falcons. But what New Orleans likes to do in this situation, they're inside they're near the 10-yard line here. They like to run that ball in there. Dalton Hilliard from the tailback position will be deep in the backfield, right behind the center position. He likes to follow Craig Hayward, who's become a tremendous blocker. He was always a great running back in college, but he's learned to be a great blocker. So follow number 34 in the backfield. He'll lead the ball carrier through the hole.
They got nearly 5 on that play. Second down, Hilliard again. Trying to get wide and knocked out of bounds at the 1. May have the first down. Jesse Tuggle got him. Kept him out of the end zone, and 5 new Atlanta defenders on.
Really very simple, very basic football. We're going to put muscle on muscle. Craig Hayward gets a good block outside, and Dalton Hilliard dips outside to pick up enough yards to get inside the 5-yard line. Down near the 2 before Tuggle knocks him out. Tough, hard hard-nosed football down there.
And it is a first down. First and goal at the 2-yard line. Just picked up the first down. Two more big guys, Epps and Barnett on the defensive line. Hilliard wide again is met there by number 59, John Radiant, smashed back. Loss of at least a yard.
Tim, when you have a big blocking back like Hayward, who's 260 pounds, taking that lead block, the best thing you can do as a defensive team is turn it back and wait for help. Number 59, John Rady, does a good job holding up Hilliard here, and the rest of the black shirts show up in about a split second.
Just inside the 4-yard line now. Second and goal. Hayward goes in motion. Forcade will roll. Touchdown. Kobe Brenner. What a nice play. Let's hear it for John Forcade. The guy they're trying to run out of town has not yet packed his bags in New Orleans.
A terrific series of plays. Forcade rolling out to his right, this time putting Hayward in motion. He goes across the formation, and Forcade starts his roll. What the Falcons do is try to cover him. They leave him uncovered. So here comes 85, Tice, or Hobie Brenner, scot-free off the line of scrimmage for the touchdown.
Anderson with a point after. They're just going end to end here in this football game as the Saints reclaim the lead. Hobie Brenner's 3-yard touchdown run on a perfectly executed play. Forcade with his touchdown pass and a 24-21 lead. 3:23 to go in the third quarter.
Tim, Forcade seems to be having the game of his life. Now, it seems like when he does throw a pass, it's caught for a big gain. Hasn't thrown very much, but he's been very effective. But again, the Saints are playing the kind of football we thought they'd come in here playing, put the ball on the ground and grind it out. Craig Hayward, according to Coach Moore, has developed into the best blocking back he has ever seen. He was a tremendous runner in college, came in as #1 draft choice out of Pitt to the Saints, and now has accepted the role as being a blocking back, leading the way for Dalton Hilliard and Reuben Mays. When that guy approaches it with 260 pounds behind him, it's quite a wallop.
John Forcade, 7 of 9, 176 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's run for 1. So while those numbers are not Marino-like, the percentage is a little better than the 28% that he brought into the game, to say the least. Yards and 5 plays, a 3-yard pass from Forcade to Brenner. Morton Anderson. Dancing Dane will pick it off. Sanders, the deep man, 5 yards deep, will not bring it up. And Sanders, you can see, not happy that he's not getting a chance to return that ball. The good kickoff by Anderson kept him deep. Well, we gave you the NFL scores that have been transpiring here earlier. Bubby Brister has left the game and been replaced by Rick Strom, a rookie for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that was after Brister finally got his first touchdown pass of the year. But look at the number of quarterbacks have been injured in the early part of this season. Wade Wilson gone for a couple of months from Minnesota. Jeff George, Rippon, Rodney Peete, and Brister added to the list.
It seems to go in bunches, Tim. When they go down, you see them going down all at one time, it seems.
First down, Atlanta. Rozier for about 5. Net by Ronaldo Turnbull. Turnbull, the 6'4", 250-pound rookie from West Virginia. And there's Mike Rozier. Turnbull is an unusual physical specimen. He's not a huge guy for playing defensive end, but they say he's tremendously strong. Great upper body strength, and asking Pat Swilling about him. The linebacker, the outstanding linebacker, his impression of the rookie, said, boy, this guy is going to be real good. They're very impressed with him. Broussard and Settle now the running backs. Wilkins hangs on for the first down. Gary Wilkins turned an easy catch into a circus catch, but he made the first down play.
He bobbled this thing for about 15 yards. Miller rolling to his right, trying to find his tight end crossing, and he clears right here. Should be an easy catch. No, now I have it. No, I don't. Now I have it. No, I don't. Now I have it. Now I finally have it.
I guess I better grab it because there's a guy right there in front of me. Wilkins, what a job.
That's right.
The 235-pounder from Georgia Tech. Rambled it out to the 42-yard line. Rozier has another Falcon first down for an NFL update. Let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Tim, at Houston, the Oilers have gone back on top of the 49ers. Warren Moon, 18 yards to Haywood Jeffries, 21-14. Oilers leading the 49ers. Let's go back to Atlanta.
Boy, that looks like a fun game over there, Greg. The Oilers are a good football team. They were under Glanville, and they are under Pardee. And Rozier, who just left them, picked up a big first down here. First down in New Orleans territory. Miller out of bounds, intended for Haynes. Cook had the coverage. Miller may have just thrown that one away as Cook really stalled Haynes against the sideline. It'll be 2nd and 10. The confidence of this Falcons team has not waned at all, though. Irv, what we talked about at the very beginning of this game, a team that came in here 1-2 with an attitude like a 3-0 team. And here they are in a real shootout with the Saints. But you can just see they just got all kinds of confidence.
Well, they seem to have a resolve that they want to earn some respect from teams, and they know the only way to do that is to go out and beat some good football teams and beat them convincingly.
A holding penalty against Atlanta backs them up now to the 44-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 20. Rison, Haynes, out to the right side. On with Floyd Dixon in the red gun. 3 receivers to the right. Miller rolling, goes to the short man, overthrows Dixon. Miller wanted to go deeper. Saw him there gesturing, I believe, to Rison, that he was expecting Rison to run a different route. He gave him a little more time to break it off and ran out of time.
That's a little bit of a flaw right now. They haven't quite gotten together and synced up on all the routes. Most of the routes the receivers run for the quarterback here, Miller, are option routes. They have to read the same thing and then break off at the same time. Apparently, Rison saw one thing, Miller saw something else, and they just weren't able to get connected.
2nd and 20. Rison coming over with Dixon from Indianapolis and settling into this offense. He likes it. Miller loves it. And they can only get better at it. Miller, line drive shot there for Rison. Incomplete. Saints have to be getting a little frustrated that they haven't been able to get to Miller.
And they've really tried. Pat Swilling has been playing on one side of the defensive line and the other, and coming in a red dog or a blitz situation, trying to put pressure on Miller. But what the Falcons have done, though, it seems like Miller must be keying off of Swilling because he's rolling away from him most of the time. If Swilling's on one side, he rolls opposite nearly every time. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think they're keying on him and rolling away.
Now the Saints on the field. There you see them. Ricky Jackson whipping up those gold-clad Houdat fans over there. I mean, this is the most unusual situation in the NFL. You got 2 home crowds. Great fun. Flag flies. Miller under pressure from Jackson. Runs it out of bounds at midfield, picking up about 7 yards, but a flag on the play in the offensive backfield.
Looked to me, Tim, as though Pat Swilling was the first one to jump on defense, came across into the neutral zone. The flag went down, so it should be against the Saints.
So the Saints a little too pumped up on that play.
Offside, defense, number 56, 5 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down. 3rd down.
Pat Swilling. What an impressive young man this guy is. Got a great future ahead of him in a lot of areas about anything he chooses to do. I think he's intelligent, very talented guy as a football player. It seems like he's got his life all organized.
Very impressive young man. His fiance is in medical school.
Good pick.
Yeah, good pick. You know, he's got his life pretty well mapped out. He knows exactly where he's headed.
3rd and 15. Let's see if the Saints can stop the Falcons here. Miller to Collins. They cannot. First down, Atlanta. Big day for Sean Collins. First down at the Saints 26. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter. With the score, the New Orleans Saints 24, the Atlanta Falcons 21. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Sean Collins, number 85, makes a nice catch, but the key to this pattern is number 24, the right cornerback. If he steps up, watch what happens here. He steps up, now the ball's delivered. That's the option route, so they're working on him. He drops deep, they throw short. He steps up, they go deep. Nice combination pass for the big play.
They got the wave going here in Atlanta. This is the most fun these folks have had. The Falcons, meanwhile, the players are trying to get their fans to sit down and be quiet. The problem is they're talking to a lot of New Orleans fans. First down. Rozier to the 22-yard line. Sam Mills on the stop. Mike Rozier, I sure couldn't have figured he was going to get as much work as he's getting here today after one practice with this team, one contact practice.
I know he didn't expect to go this long. Apparently, Steve Broussard must be ailing more than we thought. Tim,
Well, Broussard has played quite a bit, though. They've been dividing the time, but Rozier, I think, that Coach Glanville just likes this guy and wants to get him in these situations. And he's got Tracy Johnson, another ex-Oiler, in there with him. Blocking back, number 43. Miller just got it off to Rozier, drops it. And the Saints coming hard on Miller, made him pay for that one.
Tim, I called the Oilers the other night to find out how in the world could you let Rozier go. You know, no one picked him up. They didn't trade him. He wound up, Atlanta wound up getting him on the waiver wire for the $100 waiver price. But they said they had too many running backs. He was the 3rd running back with the Houston Oilers. Here's a guy who's a former Pro Bowler, 3rd running back with the Houston Oilers. They asked him to play on special teams. He said he didn't want to do it. I'm not going to do that because I'm a running back. So they said we can't go 3 deep with having a guy not play special teams, so they let him go. Glanville has him running the football. That's what he loves to do.
Well, he had him there. He had Lorenzo White and Alan Pinkett, too, but he kept Rozier and gave him the ball in crucial situations. Miller, it's knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Good defensive play. Number 93, Wayne Martin, the second-year man from Arkansas. Quiet guy, so aware of the fact that Sean Knight was a bust as a #1 pick, a defensive player, and didn't want it to happen to him. And here he is, a starter in year 2.
Real good job by Martin, penetrating as far as he possibly can and then reaching high. We called this, when I was with the Rams, high balls. You can bat a lot of balls down if you penetrate and jump. He's 6'5" and knocked that one down.
40-yard field goal try to tie by Davis. It's good. No, it is not. Davis missed the 40-yarder. And we'll be back with the Saints still on top.
This NFL game summary is sponsored by Levi's 100% Cotton Dockers. If you're not wearing Dockers, you're just wearing pants.
Now there's a quick look at how things stand. 14:04 to go in this football game. A 3-point New Orleans lead. Both quarterbacks having good afternoons. And Davis, having bad luck with a field goal try, hit the upright way up high on the left.
When he kicked it, it looked like he was going right down the middle, Tim. But the ball drifted away and hit the upright, right upright.
Forquet scrambling around, goes deep, and what a catch by Eric Martin. quickly look at Davis's field goal try. A 40-yarder. I thought it was good when he hit it.
Looked very good, but watch where it hits, though, Tim. The wind picks it up and it drifts and hits the upright right there. Can you believe that?
So a tough break for Atlanta, and meanwhile, Forcade brings him back 40 yards to Eric Barton with a diving grab and a first down at the 38 of Atlanta. Hilliard gets to the 35. Reports of his demise were greatly exaggerated. John Forcade can borrow that line from Mark Twain, because right now he's playing like a Super Bowl quarterback. How long it'll last, that remains to be seen. But in this game, he's been the boss for the Saints. Steve Welch will have to wait a little longer.
They haven't been together very long, Tim, but they both seem to have a high regard for each other. They seem to get along quite well.
2nd and 6. Ruben Mays dropped for a loss by Tony Casillas. Casillas seeing his first game action. Pro Bowler, #1 pick out of Oklahoma in 1986, a holdout this year. Butler and Mitchell come in defensively. Rady and Reed go out. And the passing down for New Orleans. 42 consecutive starts for Casillas, but starting today as a substitute behind the rookie Torrey Epps, but he's been getting a lot of play. 3rd and 7. 4 wide receivers. And that'll be a false start. Looked like Stan Brock, the tackle, coming back for the ball. The veteran, 32-year-old.
False start. Offense, 67. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
That'll back him up to the 40.
Stan Brock is a man who's on the left side of your screen, number 67, steps up. There he is. He starts early. Now, that happens a lot, Tim, with offensive tackles who start in the 2-point stance. They're standing upright, and sometimes they lose their balance, when they're in that position, and any kind of movement, gets them going. So they have a tendency to pass block better from a 3-point stance when they're down than they are when they're up in a 2-point stance.
Yeah, with all that hardware he wears on his legs, that may be a factor, too, to pull him off balance. 3rd down and long. Forcade incomplete, intended for Hilliard. Overthrew it. A chance for an interception on the play by Butler. He didn't get it either. And it's 4th down, so the Falcons hold. You're looking at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, a sellout crowd on a beautiful sunny afternoon. Temperatures in the 80s. A thrilling football game from the opening kickoff, and the Saints lead it by 3, 24-21. Greg Davis's missed 40-yarder moments ago, missing an opportunity to tie it up for the Falcons. Sanders back. Barnhart's punt. Fair caught by Sanders at the 10-yard line. And we'll be back in Atlanta in a moment.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Mercedes-Benz, engineered like no other car in the world. Today's Duracell, the copper top battery. And by America's favorite light beer, Miller Lite, the sole sponsor of the NFL Player of the Year Award.
Jim Ryan and Irv Cross here, where the Atlanta Falcons trailing by 3 at home against the Saints. Tremendously exciting football game. Deion Sanders fair catching at the 9-yard line, so Atlanta will start from there. Falcons having just stopped the Saints on their drive. Rozier and Wilkes. Not Wilkes, Goff. Robert Big Goff, number 91, blasting through from the nose, drops him for a loss.
Tim, this is really an excellent maneuver by Goff. Getting rid of the guard, throw him aside, now come upfield and make the play. Rozier has no place to go but down. Terrific play.
Here's Goff, came over from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, had been a starter at defensive end there. Down to home in New Orleans, not too far away. Second down and 14. Miller standing just in the end zone. Out of the red gun. Incomplete for Dixon. Ball was there. Gene Atkins came across in front of him, and it may have just been enough of a distraction for Dixon to drop the ball. Third down. Houston in front of San Francisco 21-17 now. A field goal by the 49ers. Word from that game, Roger Craig has suffered a twisted right knee. May not be back in that one. Miller runs out of the end zone, now finds Collins, and he's got it. But did he have possession inbounds? Yes, they say. John Collins is having a sensational afternoon.
It seems like every time we see him in a pass pattern today, Tim, he's making another big catch. Chris Miller rolling to his left here. You'll see trying to find somebody open and spot Sean Collins coming all the way across field. Great concentration there as he comes down with the catch along the sideline. There he goes, up, both feet in. He does have control of it when he hits the ground.
Yeah, he did. He tucked it in with his left hand against his body, but the replay guy wants to have another look. Bill Swanson, as they break the huddle. Once we gave him a peek at that one there, he decided he'd have another look at it, which is what usually happens.
Looked okay to us, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, because he pins it against his side with his left hand. I think that was
that's
quite
key.
evident the way we saw it.
Yeah, here it is, Tim.
He bobbles here, but now he squeezes it right there with his left hand against the numbers. And then he goes down inbounds.
Sure. That's a catch.
After further review, play stands as called. Completed pass. First down.
At the 27-yard line, Jerry Glanville, the flamboyant maverick of the National Football League. There's a guy who does it his way. Expects to get fired. Not necessarily this week, but he just says, I'll get fired. It happens.
That's right, yeah. But I'll be hired within 5 days. I've never been out of a job more than 5 days, he says.
Broussard, about a yard. Ronaldo Turnbull on the stop, the rookie number 97. But he brings excitement, Glanville does, to this town and to the football team. To a man, those we spoke to here at practice on Friday said they like him, they like his style, they like his personality, the way his practices are run. They have a light workout on Fridays, quite different than a lot of other teams. I mean, it's a very light workout. And they are just in love with Glanville, with the exception perhaps of John Settle, one of the incumbent running backs here, who has lost his chance to run the football very frequently.
Settle will run the football more, but he's running better. He blocks better.
Hit hard, but holds on and gets about 6. Mills and Thompson make him pay the price.
Andre Rison is a guy the Falcons like to feature their offensive passing game around. You can see working in the middle of the field, breaking outside, makes the catch. Takes a couple of hits there, but Benny Thompson being the guy that lays the wood to it. Yeah, but to get back to Glanville again, though, Tim says, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. You know, I'm doing a job I enjoy. I don't feel like it's not work to me. He enjoys it. Never worked a day in my life.
3rd and 2. Miller under pressure, and it's broken up. Excellent defensive work. Toy Cook, they've been picking on him today, but he was there with perfect timing, and the rush on Miller forced him to throw the ball sooner than he wanted.
You're right, Tim. If you had a choice to work against Robert Massey on the one corner or Toy Cook, number 41 over here, you would work towards Cook because Massey is the one with the reputation of being a better pass coverage man. Here, going against Cook again, this time he comes up with a great defensive effort.
First punt of the afternoon for Atlanta. Scott Fulhig. Wonder if he remembers how. 8:14 to go in regulation time. Vince Buck back to receive it, and it's a short kick. Maybe he didn't remember. And it is down at the 42-yard line.
Look at the day Forcade's had so far, Tim. Throwing the ball 11 times, completing 8 passes. Well, you can see it. 216 yards and 2 TDs. Who would have thought it, huh?
Who would have thunk it? Forcade, I guess, because he was a confident guy when we talked to him yesterday. Bring him on, he said. Well, his receiver, Martin, fell down. A flag is down. So he may have been helped to fall down. Defensive holding against Atlanta.
Holding. Defense. 5 yards. First down. Number 22.
There's that killer penalty again, the first down.
Every defensive penalty is a first down except offsides if it's more than 5. Here your quarterback ratings coming in for the day. You can see Forcade is at rock bottom, 28.4. I've never seen a rating that low for a quarterback. And of course, he's improved dramatically with his performance today.
Quite an afternoon for John Forcade. And he was the one who said the arrival of Steve Walsh might be the best thing that could happen to me. I want to compete, fight, keep my job. This time it's sack. Jesse Tuggle. Second sack of the day by Atlanta.
This is what the Falcons wanted to do, put heat on Forcade right up the middle. Here's the rush. Good penetration by the defensive line. Now here comes linebacker Tuggle to make the initial hit.
Boy, it's tough out there. Look at that. Scott Case has had his jersey just ripped right off his back, number 25. And there's a real firebrand of Tuggle. One of the leaders on this team. Inside handoff. Hilliard. Over midfield. Into Atlanta territory where Bobby Butler stopped him.
Carry the ball carrier here from the shotgun. It's a draw. They try to simulate a pass. The defensive line thinks it's pass, but no, it's not. The ball's handed off instead. As they suck up, Hilliard runs right past him.
They spot it right at the midfield stripe. Third down. Top 9. Big defensive play as time ticks on. 6:56 to play, regulation time. Saints by 3. Overthrown. Intended for Lonzel Hill, number 87. Good coverage downfield. Dimry, number 22, had them all away. Fourth down. Lots of time for the Atlanta Falcons to make something happen, but both of these defenses starting to tighten it up.
Everybody expected that, though. The Falcons do very well in the run defense. And, of course, the Saints have come in with a top-flight defensive effort as well, too. So he expected what Jim Carr says from the Falcons staff, smash-face football.
Barnhart standing at his 35. Good kick right to the goal line and nearly kept out of there, but it'll be a touchback. 50-yard punt. We'll be back. 6:34 remaining. What a night ahead on CBS. 60 Minutes starts it. If the Iraqis you'll meet tonight on 60 Minutes get to do what they want to do, we could pull out of the Gulf Monday morning. What do they want to do? Says here, kill Saddam Hussein. 60 Minutes tonight on CBS, and followed by the American League Championship Series Game 2. Oakland and Boston, the Red Sox, will try to even things up tonight at Fenway Park. First down, Atlanta from their own 20-yard line following the touchback. And you see the fourth quarter defense has been pretty tough. First down. Atlanta down by 3 points. Incomplete. Rising. Troy Cook with a good job. They've kept Cook busy. Atlanta planned to throw his way, and he has been getting a little tougher as the game's gone on.
Falcons felt their chances of completing passes would be better against Troy Cook than going against the other cornerback, Robert Massey, who has a reputation of being a better pass defender. But Cook has met the challenge most of the time today. He's had a couple of plays where he was burned, but he's handled it fairly well.
Michael Haynes goes out to the right side. Rising in the slot left. 2nd and 10. Miller changing it up here. Fumbles the ball. Saints may have it. Ricky Jackson says he's got it. And it was an audible situation there, Irv. And clearly a mix-up in the exchange again between Dukes and Miller.
The ball was up there, though. Miller had an opportunity to take it. He pulled away a little early. Tim, you can see the separation between the center and the ball when the ball came up. And Miller pulled out just a tad early. Therefore, he had a bad exchange. Falcons. Saints now are in great field position.
At the 15-yard line with a 3-point lead and 6:26 to go. Forcade has thrown only 12 times, but 8 of them complete and 2 touchdowns. Hilliard, nowhere. Great defensive response led by Casillas, number 75, and Gann, number 76.
This is a spot on the field where the Saints like to really grind it out. Again, they have a top-flight blocking back in Craig Hayward, who in Coach Moore's opinion is the best blocking back he's ever seen with 260 pounds, and he's the man who's going to be leading the way for either Dalton Hilliard or Ruben Mays into the goal line if they elect to go ahead and run it in.
Mays and Hilliard in there together now. Hilliard flanked out to the left. Okay, can't find a man. Now he does. Hilliard hit immediately, but not before he got to the 6-yard line. Brian Jordan, the safety, number 40, stopped him there. Herb, what happened here? He looked like he was left open.
He was left open. He had the 4 defensive backs were playing fairly soft there. When Hilliard went into the short area to the left, into the flat, no one picked him up. So he was there scot-free and did the smart thing, just stopped. Instead of running upfield, stopped in the open area, and Forcade found him.
3rd and 2. They need to get to about the 4-yard line. Tice comes in. Craig Hayward comes in. Hayward in motion. Hilliard.
Tim, that is sensational defense. There must be 11 black jerseys on the tackler. Glanville has a drill in practice where he says, let's see how many players we can get on the ball. The player runs and one person tackles them and the other 10 players arrive. They try to get all 11 players on the ball carrier. You saw the drill in effect there. 9 black jerseys on the ball carrier.
4th down. Field goal unit comes on the field. That will leave Atlanta with a chance to win it with a touchdown. Assuming Anderson makes the field goal, which for him is basically a chip shot, New Orleans takes a timeout. It would be a 22-yard attempt.
They might be thinking about going for this rather than kicking it.
Well, that's what I wondered as soon as they called the timeout. That, in fact, I was a little bit surprised, frankly. They weren't going for it there anyway, but they were stuffed twice on 2 consecutive runs, and they still need a yard. So let's see whether Jim Mora changes his mind. Right now, it looks like field goal time. It would force Atlanta to score a converted touchdown to win. Well, a chance to recognize some of the real heroes of our CBS Sports coverage. Coordinating producer of the NFL on CBS, Charles H. Milton III. And our producer on the site today, Daniel H. Ford, directed by Andy Kindle. The NFL Today was produced by Eric Mann and directed by Duke Struck. Senior producer David Winter and executive producer of CBS Sports, Ted Shaker. And they are bringing Forcade back on the field. So Mora does not want to give Atlanta that chance. He's going to gamble here.
They have Forcade on the field, but more importantly, they also have number 34, Craig Hayward. My guess is it's going to be something with Hayward leading the blocking and a tailback, Dalton Hilliard, following him for the first down.
Yes. First down, New Orleans. Not by much, but it looks like he got it.
Tim, we guessed right. Craig Hayward was the lead blocker, didn't block anybody, didn't need it. Hilliard makes a first down anyway, coming across the formation. Tackle 73 gets a pretty good block out there for him. Enough to get the first down.
Atlanta takes a timeout. 3:45 to play. There's Carl Smith, the offensive coordinator, with a hat, talking to Jim Mora. Planning the offense from first and goal here. Atlanta, meanwhile, sends on Barnett. Rick Bryan, Butler, and Epps. Next, the NFL Today's post-game show with scores and highlights. Another eventful afternoon in the National Football League. But I would think hard-pressed to match the excitement this game has produced anywhere else in the league today. This has been just a dandy from the opening kickoff. And certainly the story of the day has been the play of John Forcade. And young Steve Welch in uniform today told us he was ready to play if necessary. The coach said he would if needed, meaning if Forcade didn't play well. Well, Forcade's in there now. Hilliard eluded one tackle, but then those black shirts surrounded him. No gain.
Real tough territory down here. Goal line defense where you have 4 defensive linemen down on the line pinching down to the inside. They want to constrict that offensive line so you can't get any holes in there. And then the safety man, number 40, Brian Jordan, does a real good job coming in as the lead tackler. You'll find that he'll have one-on-one shots at Dalton Hilliard with that kind of a defensive set.
Atlanta takes another timeout. They'll have one left. And all of this work on the ground, trying to grind it into the end zone, also using up clock time. That's obviously part of the intent of New Orleans. 3:30 remaining. Hilliard has 30 yards rushing on 16 carries. They've been giving him the tough yards to run today. And he delivered on the first down play. Each team with one timeout left. Well, if you're not sure whether this is the Superdome or Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, don't feel bad. There is a sizable and vocal number of New Orleans fans here as always. And when these teams play in the Superdome, a huge contingent of Falcons fans goes down for that one. Second and goal. Saints. Reuben Mays to the 2-yard line. John Rady just missed dropping him for a loss of about 4 yards. Blowing through there. Mays eluded him. Final timeout taken by Atlanta. 3:21 still on the clock. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 2. John Rady, I bet he's saying to the coach, I thought I had him. Boy, he just missed Mays back there, and that would have been a huge play.
The thing you appreciate about a game like this, though, Tim, is that both teams have really sold all out. It's just been tremendous effort on both sides of the ball by both ball clubs. And, you know, it's just a great rivalry. We know that. But there's something more than that, I guess, when Atlanta and New Orleans play. When they both feel they have pretty good football teams and they're fighting for their own pride. And I don't know. It's just it's a game, true enough. But when you see this kind of an effort, you step away from it and really appreciate what this game's really all about and the kind of people who play it.
What a division this is. When you think about the 49ers struggling a little bit, they'll be here at Atlanta next week. New Orleans will be home to Cleveland. The Rams a good football team. These two teams are going to cause a lot of trouble. Fort Cade and close to the goal line. He had a hole up the middle. And a great defensive play. The response by Mike Gann, number 76, saved the touchdown.
Terrific reaction by Mike Gann. Looked as though 4K was going to walk in there. As he drops back, you'll find a gap right over the center. Right now, it looks like he's going to make it. But watch 76 come out with this block. Terrific play. Stopping him down inside the 1-yard line.
Wow. We've seen some great long gaining plays and some great short gaining plays today. Great defensive plays and great offensive plays. Saints take their final timeout. 4th and goal inside the 1. What do you do here, Irv? Call the play. Go for it.
Oh, yeah, he's going to go for it. He's right
you go for it.
Am I going to go for it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to have, I don't know if Reuben Mays or Dalton Hooker is going to be in the game, but I'm going to have whichever one of my tailbacks is in there follow Craig Hayward. He's going to be my lead blocker. We're going off tackle, and we're going to blow people right out of there. Craig Hayward is one of the most impressive blocking backs I've seen in years, and Jim Moore calls him the best blocking back he's ever seen, and he just has that knack of being able to do it naturally. He didn't work particularly hard at it in practice. He just seems to do it pretty well. He's always a good ball carrier, but now he's making his mark as a tremendous blocker. So I would take advantage of that blocking power, follow him into the end zone, and hope that my big fullback, Craig Hayward, can make enough daylight for my tailback to squeeze in there for less than a yard.
Well, let's find out what Jim Mora thinks is the play.
It's an open formation.
It won't be Hilliard because he's flanked out. I think Forcade takes it in, or tries to. Flags everywhere. Busted play. Movement on the offensive line is the likely circumstance when the whistles blow like that.
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down. Still 4th down.
Kevin Haverdink starts prematurely. There he is, the left tackle. He moved, and you'll see him move again. The guard, 74, steps up there. Premature movement. They move back 5 yards, so there's no question now. Do you have to kick it?
Morton Anderson preparing the turf at the 19-yard line. It'll be probably an 18-yard official field goal, closer to the 19. 29-yard attempt. Well, now, wait a minute. I'm sorry, the 23-yard.
3 minutes.
23-yard attempt. Spotting it at the 13-yard line. And 3 minutes remaining as the officials on the field have again corrected the scoreboard clock. That's a lot of time, folks. Anderson connects a 23-yard field goal, a 6-point Saints lead. 2:58 to play. No timeouts remaining except for the 2-minute warning. So the Falcons still very much alive.
Morton Anderson following through there, lost his balance, had enough on the ball to make the kick, but fell down after he kicked it.
His second successful field goal of the day for the 6-point margin. And we've talked about the confidence of this Atlanta football team, Irv, in talking with players and with Glanville coaching staff on Friday here, despite their 1-2 record coming into the game. And they have played this game with a lot of confidence. Now they're really going to be tested. No timeouts, 2:58 to go.
But they have a tremendous weapon on the field right now. Deion Sanders, number 21, would be the man to return this kick if the Saints elect to kick it deep, and I'm sure they will. If Anderson gets it less than 5 yards in the end zone, Mr. Sanders will bring it out.
Again, the Falcons players, this time on the specials team, rousing their gold-shirted fans who are here, trying to create that hometown atmosphere in foreign territory. Sanders waiting for it at the 2-yard line. Big kickoff by Anderson. All the way out of the end zone. There'll be no return by Deion Sanders. Now this score just handed us in other thrillers today. The 49ers 24-21 over the Houston Oilers. Montana's pass to Taylor, the winning points on the road. 13 consecutive road victories for the Super Bowl champs. Dallas with a victory over Tampa Bay. The Buccaneers looked terrific last week, and the Cowboys upset them today. Rookie Emmitt Smith with a big day. Look at this, Detroit leading Minnesota in a shootout. Okay, we're 1st and 10 here from the 20-yard line of Atlanta. 2:58 on the clock, and an official delay on the field here.
Please set the game clock at 2 minutes and 55 seconds.
Well,
the clock was to have started when the ball was kicked.
They're having trouble getting that scoreboard clock coordinated to this year's new start time rules by the officials on the field.
They've had it corrected at least 4 times during this game, which is highly unusual. But yet the Saints have 6 defensive backs on the field now, Tim, so they're expecting to play pass defense first, run second, so protect that 6-point lead.
Flags again, and a likely false start against Atlanta. Or a delay, but now there couldn't have been a delay.
False start on the offense. Offensive line moving prior to the snap. Still first down.
Both teams having difficulty with that, as you've got 2 teams that you know they're going to blitz, so these guys eager to get set up to protect.
That happens a lot, Tim, because you know the heat is coming. The linemen are anxious to get set up and try and protect their quarterback, and oftentimes will move prematurely. When you have this kind of game going, you just cannot afford that sort of mental error.
1st and 15. Rising. Cooked on the coverage. It'll be 2nd and about 3 at the 28-yard line. The 27 make it of Atlanta. Risen, Collins, Haynes, Dixon, the receivers for Atlanta. All of them dangerous. Incomplete. Dixon could not hold on against coverage from Cook.
Saints are playing it real smart here, Tim, with 6 defensive backs on the field. They have 4 defenders short to take away the short patterns, anticipating some kind of maneuver like that from the Falcons in hopes they can catch a short pass, get out of bounds, and stop the clock. Then they have 2 deep safeties who are splitting the field 50-50 between the 2 of them, so they're protecting their goal line with 2 very deep safety men back there. It'll be hard to get deep on them.
Now, there's no need for Atlanta to get deep with 2:46 remaining. Third down, and top 3 almost picked up by Cook, intended for Dixon. Miller telegraphed that one a little bit, I thought, Herb.
He sure did. He looked at the receiver all the way, and Toy Cook just sort of sitting in there in his defensive backfield position there in the what I call the hook area inside, right over the offensive tackle. Almost came up with a key interception.
4th down. Now you have to question whether they should have been passing on 1st down in this series with that much time on it, and against that 6-back defense.
You would be tempted to run against it.
Well, now they've got a 4th and 2. Stay alive here. And they go deep for Rison. He's got it. Holy smokes. What a gunny call.
What a gunny call. And the guy they picked on once again was number 41, Toy Cook. This game for Toy is going to be a nightmare. He's done a pretty good job for the most part, but it seems like every time the Falcons want to go deep, they try to find a receiver working against Cook. This time it's Rison running a deep pattern. 41 Cook trying to break it up. Can't do it until he's well upfield.
45 yards to the 27 of New Orleans. Well, I tell you, that is amazing. I mean, how about Chris Miller, this still young NFL quarterback, with the guts and talent to get that ball downfield on a 4th and 2. If you miss it, the game's probably over. Miller, timing pattern for Collins, and tight coverage on him all the way. Vince Buck, the rookie number 2 pick from Central State, stride for stride with Collins. 2nd down. Well, that is some, I can't get over that. That is some call and some play.
It's consistent with Jerry Glanville's philosophy, though, living on the edge. Let's go for it. And I think these Falcons players feel the same way. Okay, it's all on the line. It's 4th and 1 or 4th and 2. Let's go for it.
Well, you know, you talked about Rison saying he's the anytime receiver. Among the things he listed as the 1st down, the possession, whatever, he said, I'm also the crucial receiver. He showed it there. Miller gets lots of time, and it is incomplete. Rison again working on Cook. Miller now 20 of 41, 342 yards on the day, a pair of touchdowns, 1 costly interception. It led to the Anderson field goal that gave New Orleans their first 3-point lead at 17-14. There are no timeouts left for either team, but lots of time. 2:26. 3rd down. Another critical play. Miller complete to Collins. Short of the 1st down by a lot. Buck again on the coverage. Buck in here on the dime package for New Orleans. A rookie, they're very high on the 22-year-old, 6-foot, 200-pounder.
What they wanted to do, Tim, though, was, of course, they wanted to get the 1st down if at all possible. They also wanted to stop the clock, and they were able to do that. So they can settle down to come up with that key play once again if they can dig it out on 4th and long.
Well, now you couldn't be surprised if they throw it into the end zone off what they did on the last 4th down play. Haynes right, Collins left. Rison, watch him, he's in motion. Number 80. Complete. Rison. First and goal from the 7-yard line. 2 minutes to play in Atlanta. Just a fantastic, entertaining football game. 2 minutes to play. Atlanta first and goal at the 7. Jerry Glanville, his exciting Falcons team, playing with poise and confidence, are on the doorstep here. They need a converted touchdown to win. Jim Mora's team has played likewise a terrific football game. They're on the leading edge here, trying to hold off the Falcons. Andre Rison, 9 catches today, 151 yards, 11 against San Francisco last week. What an acquisition from Indianapolis. First and goal, inside the 7. Broussard to the 2.
Tim, the idea here, obviously, the Falcons want to score. But with so much time left in the game, they want to put the ball on the ground for a couple of plays, run some time off the clock, then get in there, and not give Morton Anderson a chance for the long field goal.
Miller, touchdown. Rison. Greg Davis. Atlanta on top.
Tim, Andre Rison said he didn't get attention in college at Michigan State because we ran the ball. I didn't get attention in Indianapolis because they had a great back there at Dickerson. But here they feature me as a clutch receiver. And I love it. Touchdown. I think Jerry Glanville likes it too, huh?
Well, this town is going to make this guy the head of the Olympic Committee, governor of Georgia, mayor of Atlanta. I mean, Glanville has really got things cooking here, and his team is cooking, and that's what it's all about. Love him or hate him, and there are a lot of people who knock this guy. He's a maverick. He does his own thing, and he doesn't really give a damn, thank you, Scarlett, about what people think of him. Jim Mora will now have to have some miracle time coming up for him. 1:33 still to play. This is not over yet. It's up to John Forcade and company when they get the ball. 80 yards in 10 plays. Rison, 10 catches, 154 yards and 2 touchdowns. 6-footer from Michigan State. Reuben Mays and Gene Atkins will await the kickoff from Davis. 1:33 to play. The entire stadium on its feet. There is a lot of time left, but no timeouts. Atkins. Of the 11 special teamers for the Falcons in on the tackle, led by Roland Mitchell. We'll be back in Atlanta in a moment.
4-800.
Uptown Information Center.
That's 1-800-556-48.
Forcade on first down to Floyd Turner. About 9 to the 34-yard line. Tripped up by Tuggle. A rookie, number 36, gave him quite a lick at the sideline. Got a BYU playing in their nickel package, their dime out there. Obviously, in this circumstance, 1 minute to go. The clock stopped. Second down from the New Orleans 34.
Tim, but this part of the field, the Falcons have decided, okay, we're going with a 3-man rush, 4 linebackers, and also our three deep secondary. He has to beat us short, not deep. He won't give up the home run.
Intended for Hobie Brenner. Incomplete. Case had the coverage on the tight end. .52 seconds left. Sideline hoping for a chance to win it. Flags everywhere. False start is apparent. Looked like Haverdink, the second-year man.
Offense, number 74, 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down, third down.
Tim, it's the second time Haverdink's been called for illegal motion. Now, Tim Green is the defensive end playing over his head. And apparently, Haverdink is a little edgy, having Green over his nose. And the second time in this quarter, he's been called for illegal motion.
Well, that's tough on a youngster like that. First year as a starter, but he's going to be a great one. Not just good, but great. Out of Western Michigan. They love him. Third down. Forcade, incomplete, intended for Turner. The hit on him by Dimry broke it up. Fourth down. Another flag down back at the line of scrimmage. Referee Dick Hancock talking to his umpire. That's Gordon Wells. And it's against the Saints.
Illegal forward pass.
He must have crossed the line of scrimmage.
We have an illegal 40 pass, a forward pass on the offense. Number 11, pass from beyond the original line of scrimmage. 5 yards and loss of down. Fourth down.
Well, even the officials are excited about this game. So it comes down to this for John Forcade, who has had himself quite a ball game today. Win